Hey, yo, what is up? This is DPS Podcast episode number 84. 84 episodes down. It's been a long ride, but we've been enjoying it. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Shout out to the first one up here, that guy Smitty. What's up, Smitty? What's up, Stardust? What's up, Hustle and Motivating the House? Def Lloyd, Percolator, still begging for points that he never earned. What's up, Percolator 9000, Arcade, Erodimus. We got gaming topics, Erodimus. No, not drama, gaming topics, okay? Excuse me, I am under the weather. Blade X as well. And Villain, the homie Villain in the house. Happy birthday, happy belated birthday to Villain as well. He's 45 years old. That's great. Let me go introduce the panel. We got special guests in the house. We are in the midst of a celebrity. Okay? A celebrity. This man is an actor. He is 2017's Hallmark Actor of the Year. And probably the best actor ever out of the CW by leaps and bounds, clearly. I mean, it's actually not a high bar to clear. Right. With the CW, right. But still, he was on it, and he's the best. Who am I talking about? And he's a gamer. All that, and he games. Wow, someone's so busy, and he still has time for games. Picture that, right? Shout out to the homie, Ramon Terrell. What's up, bro?
What's happening, man? Like, the whole time you was talking, I was like, damn, who the hell is this? a fourth person coming on? Man, thank you so much for the extremely generous intro. Everybody, Ramon Terrell. Yeah, I write epic fantasy humor, and also I dabbled in urban fantasy. Not my primary, but people liked it, so I did it. And yeah, like I do find time to squeeze in games here and there, so can actually have an opinion because I actually play games. But yeah, it's great to be on, and thanks for having me, guys.
That is what's up. Yeah, Blade X, he was on my favorite show, Supernatural.
Oh man, that was a blast. Like, the guys were really cool. It was a lot of fun, and like, great chemistry on the set. And like,
are they really as down to earth as they seem? Padalecki and what's the other guy's name? I can't remember the other guy's name. He's going to be in The Boys season 3. I can't remember his name though. Jensen Ackles.
Jensen Ackles.
Yeah.
Jensen Ackles.
Yeah. So are they? Go ahead.
No, they're both really down to earth guys. I mean, when I worked with them, it was my very first credit. Like, literally, you can't get more green than this. It was my very, very first credit. And like, they were awesome. Like, we talk, in between, because the scenes were pretty light, so there wasn't any emotional gravity anybody had to hold on to. So, we could talk a little bit. And Jared's giving me snowboarding tips and stuff like that. And when they found out it was my first credit, like, oh man, shook my hand and everything. He's like, congratulations. So, and I mean, just the chemistry between those two is real as well, because I mean, when we'd have several hours in between take while they were blocking up the next scene, like, they're out throwing a football, you know what I mean? Like, just stuff like that. So it's like, and you can't, in my opinion anyway, you can't go that long of a run without having positive chemistry with your
like friends, yeah, right, yeah, because like that show went on for like 12 seasons or something like that, right?
Yeah, something like that. It's insane how long that show went. And but yeah, it's great show, great chemistry. I mean, I'm glad I was able to work on it, because a lot of my friends, a lot of us up here have worked on it, because it's a local show up here, but a lot of my friends haven't, so it was nice to be able to have that experience.
Awesome. And of course, I didn't want to forget my co-host with the co-most, with the broken mic as usual, Gaming Forte. What's up, bro?
Absolutely, sir. How are you doing today? My mic is always broke. It is something that I cannot afford to fix.
Lies. This man changes his GPU Like he changed his underwear, and he
You
can't.
change your GPU a little bit more than I do.
Actually, that might be true. I probably shouldn't have said that. Anyway, no, seriously though. How's it going, bro?
Oh, it's going good, man. Went out to eat with my wife today because working in retail, you can't pick your own, you can't pick your days off when it comes to the weekend. So she took me out to eat today, and that was really really cool. And just gaming and stuff outside of that, man. It's just good to be here with you. When you put the topic list in the group chat, I was like, oh my god, we got Hallmark's famous in here with us. And I was like,
right?
I was like fanboying. I was like Jonah. I was doing the little waving of the face, like, oh my god. But yeah, I definitely gonna definitely gonna. Hey, no, serious. You did you see my message in the Discord? I mean, what's the name? When I did it, I was like, oh my god, we got Ramon Terrell. Oh my god. But no, I was no, man. This is gonna be a great show. A lot of stuff to talk about. And Rodimus, yes, we will be talking about games. But there is a nice little saucy subject in there that we're going to also talk about too. But yeah, it's been a week, man. Can't wait to do this again with you for the 84th time.
I know we're closing in on that 100th episode, man. It's coming very quickly.
Yep.
I kind of want it wouldn't be before E3 or during E3. It's definitely going to be around Gamescom time by the time we hit that 100th episode, I think. But I can't wait to do it, man. Can't wait to do it. Okay, let's do a couple things first. Wanted to talk about a new thing that we're doing with DPS podcast, which is memberships. So that's something that we had talked about last summer, and we said we was going to get it done, and we procrastinated. That's on us. We didn't, but we finally got it done. Now there are memberships. They are, I would say, they are not 90% the same for each channel. And I'll go over the memberships because I of course, like, we split DPS per the Gaming Forte channel and the Slow Mo Backslap channel. I don't want people thinking like, oh, I just gonna be trying to just run my pockets, huh? No, it's not like that. The lowest membership tier is like, it's $1. Okay, let me pull it up real quick so I can actually give everybody an accurate representation of what the memberships are. And you should be able to see the join button. Yeah, the join button is there, so that's what's up. Just want to make sure that was there. Now, how this works is where are the tiers? I can't find the tiers.
Oh my god.
Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna get it. Levels. Wait. Blah blah blah. Why won't they just show me what my tiers are? I'm saying, YouTube. This is a very basic thing. I set some tiers up and I can't look at them.
Are you logged in under your account?
Yes, I'm logged in under another. No, yes, I'm logged in under my. You know what? I know them by heart. I'm good. I think I do. Look, I know them. Look, we're gonna figure it out. Hold on. This is.
Hold on.
I got it. Okay, this is what we're doing.
I was about to DM it to you.
So look, the lowest tier is the 10% tier. This is for, our community, the DPS community, the 10%ers, those who are, gamers, actually play games. We actually out here are intelligent, understand what's going on in the gaming community. Though that 10%, not the other 90%, the rabble, the heathens, not them, the 10%ers. That's only $1. It's $1 a month. It's $1 a month on my channel. It's $1 a month on Gaming Forte's channel. With that, you'll get the emotes and the emote. We got a spell check emote for Forte, who misspells everything. He probably would misspell his own name. So, like, every time you catch something misspelled, throw that spell check emote in there. We got the 10% emote. We got DPS hype in there. And on my channel, you got my backslap icon. So that's in there. The second tier is the support class tier. Is $2, With that one, you get you're gonna get extra emotes. I don't have them yet. We'll have them soon, so just bear with us on that one. The tank class tier is $3 a month. With that one, you get access to the Discord, so we we can have conversations throughout the day. Talk about whatever. All that access is in there, and then there's the DPS class, which is $4 a month. That one, you get to suggest topics for the podcast, and as long as the topic is
within reason.
Yes, within the reason. We're not gonna be talking about some outlandish stuff, okay? But as long as the topic is within reason, we definitely will touch on it during the podcast. And then this last one is unique to my channel, not Forte's channel, and it mostly has to do with me moving things for lunchtime with slow-mo and most of my activities on Twitch over to YouTube. I have a compromise here for those that were attempting to hoard channel points to get me to play games they knew daggone well I did not want to play. There is excuse me what? So okay, look, this is there were certain games that were like, if you got a certain amount of channel points. Mickey Dazala says it doesn't say join. I heard there was something going on. I don't know, Mickey, if you have an iPhone or not, but
I'll put I can drop the link. Oh, actually, if you
that guy Smitty, that guy Smitty with the DPS class membership, you are congratulations, Smitty. You are the very first member of the channel. I appreciate you, bro. Forte, go ahead. My bad.
I was gonna say, go into your creator studio, and under the membership option, there's a link that
me?
Can, you.
Wait, hold on. There's a link.
There's a link because on mobile it doesn't give you the join button.
But
so
I
you
just
have to click the link.
I checked it on my phone. On my phone that has my personal channel on it, and I see the join button on my phone. I think it's an iPhone thing. There was something.
It's only iPhone.
So
Android can see it.
So I have to do something so that people on iPhone can see it.
No. On iPhones they don't have because YouTube.
So you're saying that Mixie needs to go do that on his phone.
Yes, on his phone.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, all right, that's fine. Let me explain the min-max build tier, because I know some people going to look at it and be like, "Are you actually freaking mine?" Look, this is what this is about. Okay, look, the tier is $20. Okay, it's a $20 tier. That said, if you sub to that tier, I will play the game. So there's no waiting to get 100,000 channel points to get me to play a game. That's how that works. So that would be it's a bit of a compromise. Yeah, you have to spend some money, but if you want me to play some trash, because you get some perverse enjoyment out of playing something, then I don't want to play. Well then look, hey, compromises need to be made. Shout out to Percolator 9000 with the $5 super chat. He says, first topic, how come slow-mo backslash keeps taking my points? Check out the show later. Have to work. Wanted to support. Perk, I have not taken your points. That's ridiculous, Perk. You didn't have those points. I told you to show me what points you had, and you didn't. You've been lying this whole time. Forte, I feel like I should have made that last that last one tier higher. Now that I think about it,
when we were talking about this, because he was gonna do it at $15, and I was like, huh? I was like, so on top of you having to pay the money to buy the game that they want you to play, you gonna make it that easy for people to do? And just to let everybody know,
I might regret this. I might be regretting this.
And just to let everybody know, if you do on his channel, because I have all the other tiers on my channel, I just don't have the highest one done yet. I'll have that one done by next week. But for anybody that knows, if you do sub to that $20 tier, You can sub to it and literally downgrade right after you do it, so you're not.
Don't tell them that, man. Why are you telling them?
Unless you love slow
What?
that much, you ain't
I'm
gotta
about to
stay
mute
there
your
at
mic.
that tier.
What are you doing? Like, what are you...
You ain't gotta stay at that tier, man, unless you want slow every month to play a different game.
Stop talking now is what I'm telling you. Like, you can say, hey guys, here's how to hustle the system.
Hey,
Sure.
I'm looking out for our 10%ers, man.
Hey,
Hey,
look out for me. Look out for me, okay? How about that? Gosh, this is ridiculous. Okay, so that's the whole channel membership thing. Sorry it took us so long to get it done. Thank you. I so far, Rodimus says that he says it's not working. I don't.
Is he on Android?
I don't know if he's on Apple or not. You might want to hop on the computer or something to try it. In the meantime, though, thank you, Smitty, for subbing to the channel. Joining the membership for the channel. Yeah.
Go to your creative studio.
Why do you keep telling me to do what?
Just do it. Go there.
Okay.
Your studio.
Yes.
Studio.
Yes.
Very bottom right hand side. It has a button under the membership option. It says link. It says link for link to join.
I don't see that.
It gives you a link.
I do not see it. Shout out to Corey Hill for joining the membership and the DPS class. Thank you, Corey. Appreciate you, bro. Forte, I don't know what you thought. Look, we'll talk about it later because I don't want it to bog down the show with like stuff that I'm not trying to get things figured out. But we also, before we got into talking about the games that we played in the topics, I did want to highlight our guest Ramon's Kickstarter, which has blown the freak up. So Ramon, take it away, sir.
Thank you, sir. I am running a Kickstarter for the first book in a new series I'm launching called Heart of a Dark Dancer. The name of the book is Shadowlancer. It was doing well to start. I mean, it funded inside of 24 hours of launch. And then
that's amazing.
Teacher and very good.
I can just say that's amazing. Yeah. But
well, it was a humble goal. It was 1,000, and I actually thought we were going to be limping to the finish line, but people really came in clutch for us. And then one of my teachers and very good friend, Brandon Sanderson. You read Epic Fantasy, you probably know that name.
I know that name.
Yeah, right. He shouted it out on Twitter and his Facebook, and you want to know the power of just the power of someone like him. Within 3 hours, I think it was, the Kickstarter had doubled or tripled, something like that. And then it just kept going and going and going. And then as of right now, we're over 1,000% funded. So
that's what's up.
It's, man, it's funny how, you can use the term really grateful and humbled and everything, but it really lands home when something like that happens. So it was a really humbling experience. But anyway, I'm I don't want to go off into side burbling or anything, but if you read Epic Fantasy and you like creative magic systems and intense action and lots of characters and stuff like that, then I think Shadowlancer, you might want to give it a try. It might be up your alley. And the Kickstarter's still going. It's going until June 1st. And yeah, maybe just take a look. Just look up either my name or look up Shadowlancer. I'll type it in the chat, the name of it, and yeah, just give me a look, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you are a mod in the chat, right? So that you'll be able to put a link in, right?
Oh, okay.
Yes, you are. Yeah. As a mod, you'll be able to put a link in. Shout out to Rodimus for becoming a member of the channel at the min-max build level, which means Rodimus looks like Rodimus will actually
oh my god, it's about to get messy.
It's about to get so messy.
Shout out to Asian Deli with the sub to the channel with the mid-max build as well.
I should have made this $50. I should have made it $50.
Oh,
this is about to get
It's about to get real nasty.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Erodimus and Deli, hit me on DM on Twitter. We'll discuss. I demand my payment. What the hell are you talking about, man? Look, hit me on DM on Twitter. We will discuss what games I will be playing. Okay. I might.
Deli, I have a suggestion for you to suggest.
No, we're not doing none of that. Okay. All right. Look. Okay. Let's get into the show.
Let's go.
Let's get into the show. Blade X.
I'm trying to
Blade
be
X.
Nice. I'm trying to
you
be
can't
nice
make
and
suggestions, Blade X, because Blade. No, hold up. No, I'm not getting. Deli, I'm not buying a physical copy of Bug Snacks. I already have Bug Snacks through PS Plus. Nor am I signing it. I don't know why I would sign a copy of a game I didn't make. Doesn't make any sense, man. Erodimus says the Discord link. So the way it was set up, it was supposed to send you the Discord link.
If he goes to members, like go under community and under members, you'll see a message in there under member chat.
Yeah, so you should be able to see the Discord link in there, and it's a non-expiring link. So if it take you a little while to find it, but it is in there. It is in there. God. All right, let's get into the show. So let's get into the show. Ramon, what have you been playing lately, sir?
At the moment, I am playing Mass Effect 3. I went straight in after 2, which was just an experience. It was phenomenal. And 3 is just top tier quality. I mean, one of the biggest things that's noticeable right off the bat, right at the beginning, is the gameplay. The gunplay is like leaps and bounds better than its 2 predecessors. And it's nice that when I run, the screen doesn't shake trying to give me like nausea. I don't know what they were thinking with that, but having her move at walking speed and then shaking the camera isn't exactly running. So I'm glad that they fixed that. And I'm also glad she can run for longer than like 30 feet before she has an asthma attack.
Right.
So,
That's true.
I mean,
hardcore
it's nice
soldier, hardcore soldier. Can't run longer than 5 seconds without being out of breath. Make it make sense.
And you can hear it too.
Yeah, like why are you out of breath so much? Like, you have asthma or something? Like, what's going on?
And this is when and it's worse when you're not holding your gun. But I mean, it's the graphics are improved. Obviously, I mean, everything is gonna improve. The exit stage left thing isn't as funny as it was in the previous games. Writing is great so far. I definitely noticed a difference in the RPG elements have been scaled way back, which is fine. It doesn't bother me at all. I can see at the moment why people say that part 2 is the GOAT. However, I still haven't finished 3, but there's a level of tension in 3 because the stakes are all the way to the max. And with the exploration and having to be mindful of the Reapers and everything, it's got a lot of really cool stuff going for it. And I'm currently finished. I finished the Leviathan missions, so I'm enthralled. Just a fantastic series.
Yeah, those Leviathan missions, I think a lot of people miss those because that DLC for Mass Effect 3 wasn't there at launch. So a lot of people who were very upset with how the game ended, because a lot of those DLCs showed up well after people had been finishing the game, and there was the whole controversy about the ending and the anger. I will admit, I was one of the people that was just like, screw this game, I'm not doing it. Even though I had already paid for the EA, you know how EA always has those battle pass, the season pass, whatever you want to call it, right? I had already paid for the DLCs prior, and I still didn't play them because I was so angry. But then like years later, once the anger kind of subsided, I did go play them. It was like, oh wow, these were, really good. It just like, I've said this before. I don't like it when there's DLC for a game, but the DLC, it comes afterwards, but the DLC does not like, it's something that you should play before you finish the game.
Before you finish it. Yeah.
You'll
can't
see
imagine playing that afterwards.
Right, because it speaks to you. The Leviathans talk to you as if they're helping you, fight the Reapers. But if you beat the game, then it's like it's too late. I already beat the Reaper.
Yeah,
So it's
exactly.
like,
So why,
yeah.
how do you go back?
Yeah, when you do the what's the name of the bank, the hub that everyone goes to? Why am I
Citadel.
the Citadel, right? If you do the Citadel, right, that DLC is amazing, but it's also something you'll see once you get to the end that really should have been available at launch, because it just doesn't make any sense. But shout out to my homie, my friend, my co-host Gaming Forte for subbing to the channel, the DPS class. Thank you, Forte.
Appreciate it, bro, man. I can't wait to see what games they gonna make you play at mid-max.
Can you please stop talking about this? I'm trying to ignore it right now, okay? I'm just trying to I'm trying with the little time I have left before I'm like torturing myself playing terrible games. To just not think about it. But no, Forte, what have you been playing that's not Destiny?
Oh man, actually, it's really interesting because I'm watching you play Tomb Raider, and over the last 2 days, I've been playing Tomb Raider.
Really?
I'm going
this one?
Actually, I'm doing this one next. I'm doing.
Why would you do the second one first though? Because chronologically, this one is before that one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Which one is this one, just to make sure?
This is Tomb Raider Definitive Edition.
Okay, no, this is the one I'm doing. It just for some reason, it looks different on your screen. Man, you're later in the game. That's probably why too. It just looks different. But yeah, this is the one I'm playing too. So I'm actually playing this.
What are you playing it on?
On Xbox right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm playing this on PC with.
I can definitely see that's why it looks different.
Different how?
It looks better.
Of course it does. Of course it does. Okay, I just wanted. No, excuse me. It's I don't have my MSI Afterburner counter up, but it's probably playing anywhere between 120 to 140 frames per second at 1440p. No
cool.
dynamic resolutions out here. Okay.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really cool. I've been
it's held up very well, I think.
Yeah, it has. I've been on the ball because I got to go through these games because Slow-Mo's got a substantial lead on me in games beat, so I got to go through my library.
I'm coasting at this point.
Are you at?
I'm still at 7. I haven't beat a game since Elden Ring.
I know. So you're at 7 and I'm at, what am I at, 3?
I think I'm in the running with you guys.
Yeah, so he's at 7, I'm at 3. I gotta get. I was like, I gotta get on this ball. And then shout out to Xbox Obi fanning the fire on Twitter saying, "Someone, you're gonna destroy Forte in this bet that you got for games beat." So I was like, you know what? Let me get on this ball and start playing some games. So I popped this in today because I haven't beat it yet, and I was like, okay, let me go do this.
Whoa! You've never beat this game?
I've never. Oh, actually, no. I beat this one. I didn't beat the second 2, but I'm going through all of them because I didn't play 2 or 3. And I was like, let me go through this one again so I can understand what the heck I'm doing because I can't remember the story. All I know is there was a bunch of chanting going on at the end of this one, and it was like the whole Uncharted thing where they was like, we're gonna have supernatural stuff that's gonna happen at the end of the game, and I'm like, oh my god, we're doing this all over again.
Yeah,
I'm doing this.
I think all 3 of these Tomb Raider games, I feel like Crystal Dynamics didn't know how to end them. It's just like the endings always seem to be a bit of a disappointment.
Weird.
But you know, like of course our homie Agent Deli in the chat hates all these games. He thinks these are games that are all overrated or something. But
They're
think
cool, man. I beat it on Steam. I beat this one on Steam when it came out in 2014?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, it came out on the
13.
Next year, yeah, 2013.
Yeah, because it was on 360 and PS3 for I don't know how they got this game running on those consoles back then. But
the funny thing is
they made some magic happen. Go ahead.
So the funny thing is when I went to go play the game, I was like, I was looking through my list, I got Tomb Raider Definitive Edition downloaded for some reason, and I looked. So I started playing it, and I went to my saves, and I was like, yeah, this is real interesting. The date of the last time I launched this game, first of all, I did the first mission it seems because it was like 20 minutes into the game. And I was like, oh, well, let me see when I played it last. And it was like February 1st of 2014. I was like, wow. I said I must have wanted to see what it was like on console, and then I instantly said, forget this, I'm going to play it on PC, because that's where I beat it at on Steam.
Yeah, I played through the entire series maybe 2 years ago.
Nice.
It was a struggle with Shadow. I think
I hear Shadow's the worst of the three.
Really?
Yeah, it is.
I thought it was the weakest of the three, but I still enjoyed it.
It was
I think I'm one of the few though.
Yeah.
I think the biggest issues I had with Shadow were the puzzles were like terrible.
Yes. The
And-
puzzles were bad, especially that one puzzle in the cave area with the blood thing.
And I think it had the weakest story out of all of them. I feel like gameplay wise, the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, the one that's playing right now on the screen, is probably the worst gameplay wise, but I think it has the best story. And I liked how her crew were a part of the story, even though they're side characters, but like they had personalities. There was, you could definitely tell that she had like, she cared about the crew, the people that were stuck on the island with her, and it wasn't just her and like this Samoan friend zone dude. You know, because that's all there is for the other games. They just kept him. They kept him over from this one, and just like it's just like it's just her rescuing him every 5 seconds, and it's just like, yo, this is not like like if you're trying to be like your own version of Uncharted, you need to, like, story wise, they definitely did not like compare to Uncharted at all, like really, or with the cutscenes if you think about it. But regardless of that, like Uncharted had way more than just one side character that was a constant for Nathan Drake. There were at least 3 or 4. There's Sully, Nadine, what's the blonde chick that he married? Can't remember her name, but like it's been a while since I played Uncharted. Thank you. But like these are constant characters that you expect to see in every Uncharted game, and they provided, and they provided a aspect to the game and story that was worthwhile. With Tomb Raider, you got Lara, and like I said, you got Samoan friend zone dude. and he didn't really provide much of anything, besides, sure, Lara, whatever you want, Lara, I'll take care of that, Lara. Oh, Lara, save me.
He was a moral compass. He was a little bit of a moral compass towards the beginning of Shadow after that big flood thing.
Like there was that. Like it's like they tried to, give him a bit of a personality at some point. Yeah.
For a minute.
They're so look. They're working on the next trilogy or the next Tomb Raider game. I hope that they look at like a lot of what they did well with this trilogy and keep up with that, and then improve on the things that weren't done so well. But I'm sorry, don't mean to bog us down, but this is what I've been playing. I've been playing this. I'm probably about halfway through the game. I have been playing Fury. I've been playing the Division 2 new content. I have been playing Elden Ring, more Elden Ring. I've been helping my boy get through the game, and I mean, really, that's just really about it. I actually have not played too much Road Company this week. I need to get back to playing Road Company because I already finished the Battle Pass, but like I don't want to be too rusty, in case somebody want to test the skills, test the technique, I have to break it out on them, and let me stop. But no, all that said, gentlemen, I'm glad to see that you guys are playing games. Unlike some out here, it's awesome to see. Shout out to Gaming with Persona in the chat. Shout out to the Ashen Luca in the chat. What's up, Luca? Let's get into our first topic of the evening, which is Saints Row. So today we got revealed. This is gameplay. I don't know. This is brand new gameplay. I don't know if they've like never shown any real gameplay of the game until now, but at the very least, this is the first time I've seen gameplay of the game, and I gotta admit, it looks pretty damn good. I was pretty impressed. it got me a little bit more interested in the game. I've always been on the fence with the Saint Row remake, but now I'm kind of like, okay, I think I might have to pick this up. Ramon, what did you see the gameplay that was shown earlier today, and what did you think about it?
Yo, I can't believe it, because Saints Row has been an entire franchise that never entered my radar any further than me just seeing it and knowing it existed. When they first announced it and I saw the trailer for the reboot or remaster, the reboot, I guess it is.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh yeah, it looks pretty cool. Graphics look nice, and I still didn't care anything about it. And I saw this gameplay today, and I'm just like, okay, they have my attention. I'm not gonna say that I'm sold, but they have a lot of my attention right now. It looks really fun.
Yeah, I agree. Shout out to the Ashton Luca with the $5 super chat. She said, "Are there y'all ever going to finish Demon Souls?" Slow and Ramon. I'm gonna finish Demon Souls. I actually have thought about going back to play it post beating Elden Ring 3 times, just to see how like I feel about it. Because I enjoyed my time with Demon Souls remake, and then I enjoyed my time even more with Elden Ring, and I kind of wonder if I go back to Demon Souls, just like I think Blue Point improved upon some things that even now that this might be sacrilegious for like FromSoft fans, but like, that FromSoft just doesn't really do. It's like it just seems like maybe like a fluidness of the combat, or maybe just the visuals overall, because the visuals in Demon Souls remake is far better than anything From Software has ever done, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, I'll definitely be going back to it. I will. Luca also wanted me to tell Ramon to give me my damn sword back. She wants her sword back, bro.
Luca, I told you I would jump on and get you your sword back whenever you're ready for it. So I'll get that to you as soon as I can, as soon as possible.
Yeah.
As for whether or not I'll finish it, possibly.
Forte.
Yo.
Are you getting Saints Row, man?
I'm more inclined to get it after seeing the gameplay. I mean, I was already more likely going to pick it up, but the gameplay actually was like, this is actually as terrible as I thought it probably was going to be. And let's be for real, who knows what games we are actually going to get this year. At this point, it looks like, it's just going to be slim pickings throughout the rest of the year. But no, what they showed was really, really interesting. The driving part looked really, really cool, but until I actually get hands on, usually games like this, that doesn't kind of translate to what you see on the screen. But I'm thinking that it looks really cool. And then looking at the gameplay that you're showing right now, or the gameplay they showed earlier, I like the vibrant look of it. It doesn't look as over the top as the previous ones looked and everything. And it feels like they're trying to get back to what made Saints Row different than something like Grand Theft Auto. They already did that to an extent when they started changing up the formula with alien invasions and presidents and stuff like that. But it's like they're trying to get back to like more of the the Saints 1, Saints 2 customization style, which I actually really, really did enjoy the most about those games. We're just going to have a bigger sandbox to play in. And that's the cool thing I like about it the most, the sandbox, that was something that a lot of people like about the Grand Theft Auto games. You can pretty much do whatever you want, customize anything you pretty much want to do. So that does open up the possibilities for a lot more people just to jump in, especially in the climate that we are right now when it comes to games like this. So I'm definitely way more interested in it now after seeing the gameplay than I was like even a couple of months ago. But it was always a game that was on my radar due to the fact that I've just been a fan of that franchise for quite some time now.
Yeah, I've never been that big of a Saints Row fan. The only one I played was like the goofiest one, like 4, where it's just like it's all over the place. It's just like
out of hell.
Yeah, it's just like the narrative team just wrote the entire game on acid or something. Like they were just like drugged up and was just like they came off a bender and was like, what did we write? I don't have no idea what this is, because it's all over the place. It didn't really. I get some of the how the gameplay foundation of the game design is very much GTA, right? But I even back then I was very much still like, man, I'll just rather play GTA than play this. But now looking at this, I still think the characters are a bit corny. With you know, these like millennial looking characters, right? But I still think that like the gameplay and because like I played GTA, Online for a while, and I like that gameplay. So like, yeah, this seems like something I'll give a shot. I don't know how long I'm gonna play it, but I'm leaning definitely towards giving this a shot when it comes out, especially considering, as of right now, and of course we're getting into the conferences of the summer, not quite revealing what is left to come out for the rest of the year. But as far as I know about what's coming out and what's slated to come out and doesn't quite have a release date yet, this is one of the few things I'm somewhat interested in. So we'll see. Anyone else have anything to say about this before we move on?
Oh man, I just think the customization is going to be what's going to make people. I think it's going to live and die off the customization of your characters and stuff. If you can go in there and completely revamp everything, like I'm watching like dude walking around with a cowboy hat on with a trench coat and flights, and you know you got wingsuits and stuff in the game. I just think, but and just looking at things like wingsuits in the game, it just lets you know if you got a wingsuit, that just lets you know that the sandbox itself is going to be huge. Because you could traverse the areas pretty fast with stuff like that. So it really looks like, you know, they're really showing off the day, the night cycles and stuff like that. You know, the game looks dramatically different at different times of day. So yeah, look, I even looking at customizations of the wingsuit, like you got a rainbow version of it. So that's what this game needed to be about, the customization. And I think they're taking a page out of what's going on with Grand Theft Auto and stuff when it comes to that too. But it's not just in the multiplayer, you know, you're going to see that throughout the single player, because they're not trying to like tell any grandiose story where it's like, oh, we want to have continuity and stuff. They're saying in this game, like, no, man, we're just trying to have fun in this sandbox and see what we can do to break it pretty much. But yeah, I'm looking at this made me even more interested in the game than I even was before.
Facts. Oh, go ahead, Ramon. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, it looks like an absolute riot. It looks like a blast, a lot of fun. The one thing I worry about, and this isn't the game's fault, it's just me as a gamer. I wonder how long I would stay like engaged before I get bored, because like I'm big on story, and it looks like there's a lot of fun stuff to do. But I'm wondering like, how much mindless mayhem would I enjoy before I'd start kind of getting a little bit bored with it? And that's just my initial impression. Obviously, there might be a lot more substance to it. I mean, this is just like, you know, a gameplay clip. But if I had to say that's a concern that I would have for me personally, not the game itself, that would probably be it.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, for me, I love that like GTA style gameplay. So like that big sandbox, blow stuff up, do whatever. Sometimes like on GTA, I would just log in online and just be like, you know what? I'm just going to be an agent of chaos today and just absolutely destroy everything I run into, get up 5 stars, you know, have a manhunt after me, blow up all these police cars. I remember one time I did, this was hilarious. Like I caused a traffic jam in the desert in GTA Online, and like all these cars had lined up, and then I had shot up a couple of police cars, led them on a police chase. They chased me to the traffic jam I created. I drove up the mountain around it, jumped out and shot a rocket launcher at the cars, which of course was just like this chain reaction, explosions everywhere. It was just I'm telling you, I think my Xbox 360 probably almost like blew up. Just all the explosions that were happening, and it was just hilarious. That doing that kind of stuff is just like, you make your own fun when you you do that. And of course, there's some games that's like you make your own fun, but they're not fun. But it seems like with the Saints Row and GTA games, it's like it's got enough structure to kind of keep you engaged. And then, you know, every now and then, if you want to go off the rails, you can do so. You know, so yeah, that's pretty cool. One little mini topic, something that I forgot to talk about before we really got started, was there was a report coming from Embracer Group today, and they pretty much are saying to everyone that you should probably expect remakes, remasters, and spin-offs of the IP that they acquired from Square Enix. To quote them directly, they said, after the end of the quarter, we further strengthened our development capabilities and IP portfolio by entering into an agreement to acquire Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and Square Enix Montreal, including Tomb Raider. They're probably going to have to change Square Enix Montreal's name.
They probably will.
Yeah, because you're not Square Enix Montreal, whatever, right? Anyway, including Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, Thief, and Legacy of Kain, and other IPs. The announcement got an overwhelming and positive response. We see a great potential not only in sequels, but also in remakes, remasters, spin-offs, as well as transmedia projects across the group. I don't know what they mean by that. Transmedia projects across the group. Maybe
transmedia, I think movies and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that's true, because they don't own just video game companies and video games. They own a bunch of other stuff, right? Yeah.
I wonder if they actually own the Tomb Raider IP now, the actual movie IP.
Yes, I think they own the Tomb Raider IP in addition to the video game IP, I believe.
The video game IP.
Yeah. So even though I don't expect them to do another movie anytime soon, I think the last one bombed pretty badly, right?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, but they said they expect the transaction to close in July and September. So I guess once it does close, we'll get more announcements on that. Shout out to Stardust Acero for becoming a part of the 10% channel member. Thank you, Stardust. I appreciate you, bro. We can move on to the next topic here, which is something that I actually like. This topic's kind of like something that was just kind of born out of my own brain here, okay? It was yesterday. I was just kind of chilling, doing work, just doing my own thing, and then like I don't know what it was, but something popped up on my timeline about A Plague's Tale, and I was like, oh yeah, A Plague's Tale, yeah, that's The Plague's Tale 2 supposed to be coming out, this year, right? And so I said on my timeline, like, hey, did anyone know anything about hear anything else about this game? Because I don't recall seeing anything since they made the initial announcement, I think last year or maybe 2 years ago. Shout out to Enrique with the $2 super chat, said gotta hit that wall.
What?
I have no idea what Enrique is talking about. This might be Hennessy Enrique right now, so
That dude scares me.
I appreciate you, Enrique. Deli says good night, DPS and chat, going to bed for work. Good night, Deli. Hope you have a good evening, sir. So here's my questions about A Plague's Tale. So like people hit me up and were like, oh, it's supposed to come out in June. I think they said June 17th. And I'm like, really? This is why I'm super skeptical of A Plague's Tale coming out in June, because I was skeptical of Redfall coming out in summer, and we hadn't seen any gameplay of it. And summer of course starts in June, ends in August, I think. Yeah, but like I'm like, how are you going to release a game with no game that he's shown no gameplay of it? All we've seen is a very scripted trailer of A Plague's Tale Requiem, right? So it's just like there's no way this game is coming out in June, and even then it's like kind of like a rumored release date based off of something they saw, some people saw internally in the Microsoft store. I think that was probably just a placeholder date, because they haven't officially stated what the date is. I do think it will come out this year, but I don't think. I mean, possibly we'll see it at the Xbox conference because Asobo has a great relationship with Xbox Game Studios and publishing. This game is going to be launching in Game Pass when it comes out, so like they'll have a very vested interest in making sure this game, and hopefully this game comes out this year for them, because as we all know, Xbox, they got nothing really going on, at least as far as we know right now, for the rest of the year. So all that said, Forte, what do you think about A Plague's Tale Requiem? And do you think this game can kind of save Xbox's unique offerings for 2022?
What do you mean unique offerings? You mean games? No. Let's just answer that question right now. We're not even going to joke with it. No, it cannot save it. It would just be because we already knew we were going to get some type of offerings around third party and stuff. Now, Plague's Tale was a great game. Played it on PC. Really enjoyed it. But the biggest problem was this isn't the game that everybody was expecting to play this holiday season. Like, when is the release date for Plague's Tale? Is it like October or something like that?
No, there is no release date.
There is no release. There's just for the end of the year.
Well, no, it was slated for 2022. That's the only thing it was slated for.
That's the only thing they said. Yeah.
There's been a kind of a rumor it might be in June, which I think is like definitely now in May. That's ridiculous. They would not say, hey, we're releasing the game next month and not even show you gameplay. I don't think that's possible. Right. But October does make sense, but like that's not official yet. So go ahead.
No, yeah, I was going to say Asobo did a really good job with the first one, and I know that was a highlight of the event when Xbox showed it off the second time, and then when they announced it to come into Game Pass, a lot of people was like, yo, if you haven't played the first one, play the second one, because the second one's probably going to be even more fire. But in general,
I would recommend somebody play the first one before the second one.
Oh yeah, definitely play the first one.
I don't think the first one is an awesome game. But outside of that, I don't think you would understand anything that's going on if you just played the second one.
Especially the dynamic between her and her little brother. You won't understand none of that stuff unless you know what's going on.
Right.
There's a lot of hand holding that happens in that first game to get you to the point where you actually can understand a lot of it. But in general, I do think that it will help, but it won't do what a lot of people think it might do when it comes to like the absence of games that should have been there this holiday. And we all agree delays happen, things happen, we want better games and stuff, but if they're going to lose a game like Starfield, they're going to lose a game like Redfall. We don't even really know what Redfall is, so we'll just leave that out of the loop. But if they're going to lose a game like Starfield, they got to find something that's coming out this holiday that is, I'm not going to say of that quality, but at least can be thought of a AAA style game to fill that void for Xbox gamers and stuff this holiday season and stuff. Plague's Tale, I mean, it's going to be a game. If you played it, you're going to enjoy the second one, and it's going to probably be a surprise for a lot of people at the when they do get a chance to play it. It also might be one of those games that's up for Game of the Year because it was actually that good the year that it came out before. It was just a lot of other games that kind of overshadowed it and stuff. But I think that this game will definitely resonate for a lot of people, but it's not going to really do anything for just the problem that Xbox has when it comes to just a game situation during this holiday season, because they need to fix that with another big game. And who knows? We don't even know what big games are coming out this year, honestly. I mean, that's kind of the...
Yeah, we do.
What do we know?
We know God of War Ragnarok's coming out this year.
Okay, whatever.
We also know Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy is coming out this year. That's got a release date. That doesn't seem like it's going to get pushed.
That's going to come out that they can get put into game. We already know that's not coming to Game Pass because Sony probably learned their lessons. Like, listen, you can put that on other platforms, but you can't put that in a service.
What about Gotham Knights then? None of the WB games.
Who wants that? Who wants that? Do you want that, Slow-Mo?
I mean, it look alright.
Do you want to? Are you gonna?
It look alright, man.
Are you gonna spend your DPS money on that? Are you gonna go out there with if somebody put it like this?
Maybe.
If somebody puts a mid max up there and say, "I want Slow-Mo to platinum this game," is Slow-Mo gonna do
All right,
it?
hold up. First, we need to roll that.
We gotta put some ground rules on this.
Okay, look, it's play a game, not platinum a game, not 100% a game. Now, I because I had the tier for that with the channel points achievement of platinum and Bugsnax, I probably will go ahead and do that for the community because that was something that people have been trying to get me to do for a minute.
Go ahead and make a
That's
$50
the
tier.
only one. No. It's the only one.
Just go make
it's the only one.
Just go
No,
make a $50
no,
tier that
no.
somebody can sub
The
to
word
for a month.
And no
and
means
for a
no,
platinum.
Forte.
Platinum any game.
Forte, no means no.
No means no. You are not a woman.
Hey, no means no means it's for everyone, not just women, sir.
No,
Okay.
I'm just saying, but you know that's that when you hear that, I tell people all the time, it's like, listen, if your girl tell you no, that means absolutely no. You don't want to get in trouble like that, bro.
Shout out to Enrique, the $2 chat. Slow-Mo, is Flight Sim a game? I would say no. Not really. It's a simulator. It's a simulator. So not really.
Not really. Is it? But okay. Not really is not answering the question, Slow-Mo. Is it a game or is it not a game?
It's like 33% game.
So it's a game.
Barely.
It has game features, but it's a game, right?
What game features does it have? I haven't played it. I don't know.
It's a game that you can pick up with a controller and play on your system, right? So it's a game.
I mean, I guess.
So okay, all right, Enrique, move on with something else.
Anyway,
he thought you was gonna agree with him for some reason.
I don't know. Back to A Plague's Tale. I agree with you guys. This isn't going because it's a multi-plat. That just because you get it into Game Pass and that people can play it through Game Pass without actually having to buy the $60 price tag, on every other platform, including Xbox as well, does not mean this kind of makes up for the fact that first party has nothing going on this year. At least seemingly nothing going on this year. We don't know. We'll know for certain after June 13th. That's it. Oh, sorry, June 12th. June 13th is my anniversary. That's why I keep thinking June 13th. Anyway, that's it.
June 13th?
Yep.
Mine is June 11th.
Would be, oh boy, how many years?
13
years? 13 years, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Hold on.
Time flies.
Yeah, 13 years.
13 years?
Yeah.
So you were married in 2009.
9.
Oh shoot. So yeah, I'm going on 12. Man, we too close to each other, bro. That's why we like that. That's why we family, bro.
Blade X says Slow-Mo will stream the game dressed as a
As a strawberry.
I should have made that thing $50, man.
I'm telling you.
Oh boy. Anyway, I am interested in the Plague's Tale Requiem though. Like I'm glad I thought about it because it got me kind of excited to play it again. I actually kind of want to replay the first game. I normally do this when there's a sequel coming out, just to kind of refresh my memory on things because like characters like Hugo and some of the other side characters, if they reappear in Requiem, I don't want to be like, okay, who was he again? Or who was that again? Or how, if they start arguing over something or discussing something that happened in the first game, I don't want to be like, oh yeah, the heck are they talking about? Like, I don't want that to be, I usually go through the previous game before playing the sequel. So whatever the release date is for it, I definitely will probably run through the first game again, which I kind of, looking forward to doing because it was a really good game. I really enjoyed it. Anyone got anything else about Plague Tale before we move on?
I am looking forward to it. I got it sitting in my wish list. I played Innocence last year on PS5, and I will most certainly be there for part 2. Like, just fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to a Requiem. As far as saving Xbox for the year or something like that. I think it would take, as good as the Plague's Tale, assuming Plague's Tale Requiem is at least as good as the first one, it would take something on the scale of like that Saints Row reboot that we just watched, or something equal in scope in order to make up for what's happened in Plague's Tale is not that kind of game. But I mean, it every little bit will help, but it will take something really big to kind of offset the disappointment.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're right.
It's I think
Even
it would be
almost upset a little bit.
I mean, it would be a little like this coming out this year, if it doesn't get delayed or anything. It'll be a nice little bump, to what, for people who have Game Pass, what they'll be able to play and everything. But it's not going to make up for essentially a lack of content, period.
Right.
It's not going to make up for that, and it is
Well,
what it is.
It's mostly due to this game was already slated to come out this year. Now, if this was a game we didn't know was coming, I think it would do even more to just bring more content to it. But since we already knew that this was a game that was on a content roadmap for 2022, it doesn't replace anything. It's just something that's already was expected to be there at this point.
Yeah, but although I think a lot of people forgot about this game, honestly. I think a lot of people completely forgot this game was supposed to be coming out this year. And so I think some people would look at it as like, oh, look, at least we got this, right? Kind of deal. But it's still like we said, it doesn't make up for the lack of first party content that people expected, like Starfield, Redfall, etc. So
just like Battlefield not having 128 player mode anymore is like losing something for the game.
Oh man, what a segue, because I was just about to talk about that. So
I know.
Battlefield, you guys remember Battlefield 2042, right? Remember how big that was? Remember how last year we were all like, man, Battlefield looks amazing. Look at that trailer. Look at all the stuff that's going on. And look at it now. Here we are, not even a year later, and the game is already removing content. Not adding content, removing content. Battlefield 2042 is losing 128 player game mode breakthrough, which is the game mode that everyone was forced to play in the open beta, the first open beta, and the game mode that they really pushed the most for this game, the mode they wanted everyone to really play, and man, it never really took off, man. So they're shifting to 64 players due to the player count being abysmal.
Oh man!
And starting. Oh, that's today. Starting today, 128 player game mode breakthrough is no longer available. It's just 64 players. So, fellas, well, let me start with actually Forte, because Forte was really hyped for this game last year. How do you feel about this, man?
Well, listen, man. Hit detection was busted in the game.
Yep.
That was like the last straw for me. The moment that game had me really feeling like I sucked at first-person shooters for a while. I was like, yo, why am I just not hitting people? But come to find out, there was a bug in the game where hit detection was all busted. And then I tried to give him another chance, and I was like, man, y'all already broke the cardinal sin. How your gameplay gonna suck when the game isn't working all the way? But I digressed on that. But then, slow-mo. They put out an update to an update and told you that our next update is going to have a scoreboard in it. I was like, yo, the scoreboard was supposed to come out. The scoreboard was supposed to come out in February. But then guess what? A month later, hey, we know that we told you guys that we're working really hard on the game, and we're really working to try to make this experience the best it could possibly be. So we're pushing back our February update to April, and they named all the things that came into that update, and one of them was a scoreboard. I was like, yo, we are delaying a scoreboard that's a be in the game on day one. So when that happened, no lie, Ramon, when that happened, I quietly went to my games and apps and deleted that game. And guess what? I have not reinstalled that game since. And it's like the more and more stuff that happens with this game, the more and more dumbfounded I am about it, because I'm like, you already knew what would happen if this happened to you again. It's like you didn't do this with Battlefield 5. You didn't do this with Battlefield 1. You actually had Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5 actually were pretty good out the gate when it came to like the overall stability of the game and stuff. Of course, they had their problems and stuff, but it was nothing like Battlefield 4. And I was like, surely they learned their lesson from Battlefield 4, because Battlefield 1 and 5, they were pretty good. They had issues, but they weren't bad. But then you just dropped the ball, literally dropped the ball on the one Battlefield game that everybody really wanted. You're bringing back modern military combat. You're bringing back future warfare and weapons. You're bringing back maps big as ever. The first time that console gamers will be able to play on maps with 64 on 64 that was only preserved for the PC player base, and you literally dropped the ball. And it's still one of the best looking games. The thing is about it, it's so good looking, but it plays like absolute trash. So why do you think people like the Steam numbers for Battlefield 5 are 10 times higher than the ones for Battlefield 2042? Literally last night when you looked at it, it was like the peak concurrence was like 2,000 people. People that were playing at that moment was 1,200 people in a brand new game that came out less than a year ago. Go look at one that came out 4 years ago in Battlefield 5. It was over 20,000 people playing the game within 24 hours, and it still had a concurrent user base of over 18,000 people. So you're telling me that people is like, man, I love Battlefield so much, but I don't want to play your new stuff. I want to go back and play the old stuff because the old stuff is way more stable. You actually felt like we cared back then, and it wasn't used as a cash cow. You decided to put all of these different specialists in the game, like trying to live off of what Call of Duty was doing with the specialists back in Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4 and stuff like that. And you just took the identity of Battlefield and threw it out the window because you wanted to chase the fad of something else. And it's just disappointing, and it's very understandable that they're doing this. The player numbers are so low. You can't even maintain a party or a room with that many people in it. There's not even 28 people probably playing the game right now. Who knows? And these are only Steam numbers we know, so we don't know what the Xbox and PlayStation numbers are, but they're probably just as low. So this is nothing new to me. I'm a huge Battlefield fan. I know, shout out to Strictly and them out there. They were huge Battlefield fans, and we all dropped this game. We tried. Strictly was trying in spaces to get people to play this game, and he was like, yo, let's go play. And guess what? He even gave up on this game because it's terrible, and EA don't know what they're doing with one of their flagship titles, and I don't even want to talk about it no more. So, Ramon, being a person that, I don't know, do you play Battlefield? If you do, what do you think of the kerfuckle that they put themselves in?
The what?
I wanted to cut. I wanted to cut, so I said another word in lane with it.
I thought I heard that right.
Yeah, you did. I wanted to say the F word, but I stopped myself because we're family viewing channel.
Okay.
What do you think?
Well,
making up words tonight. All right, go ahead, Ramon.
Well, I don't play
Good for you.
those kind of type of games, so I don't have a dog in the fight. I've been watching from the sidelines, and the only thing I can say about it is wah, 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 wah. That's all it's looked like. That's all it's looked like. I've seen it just start off on a high note for about 5 minutes, and then all of the reality kicked in, and I've just watched it trickle all the way, just circle the toilet for like the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's I kind of like, I mean, we all saw the writing on the wall with this. I guess my question to finish this topic up is, I mean, look, well before I ask this question to you guys, I think this is what it means. What it looks like when a multiplayer game is officially dead. I say that because I know a couple of people. Shout out to Audible. Shout out to Merc 405. They've been playing. They picked this game back up and been playing, and they said it's much improved as far as the gameplay goes. But does that matter? Because no one else is playing the game. So like I always bring up about like, you know, Road Company, and you know, some of us will push back and say, no, Slow Mo, Road Company's not dead because you play it. You know, the developer and publisher are supporting the game. It's still got content, and that's true. It's not officially dead, but even though Road Company is a much better game than it was when it was hot, the overall gaming community ignores it. And I think
dead, it's just in a vegetative state.
Right. It's like it doesn't matter what they do to the game, people aren't going to pick it back up and play it. It's just going to maintain its current player base numbers, which is fine because I get into matches like that, so it's not that big a deal to me. I can play the game, and that's all I really care about. It's enough people to play the game, but it's probably never going to really grow the way the developer hopes it would. And I say that to talk about Battlefield 2042 because it looks like it's not even really doing that. It's got less numbers than its predecessor. It's losing players. Some people say it's improved from where it was at launch, but that's not bringing players back. And so I say all that to say that this game's probably like really in those final stages of you know, it might be time to pull the plug on it. I'll start with Ramon. Ramon, do you think that it's time for EA to just start pulling resources away? DICE's resources, devs, whatever, away from 2042 and start pushing it towards some of the other Battlefield games that they're working on?
You know, I don't say this lightly because, you know, there's a community and a fan base for these games, but you know, so for them to pull assets away from it means that, you know, they're pretty much, you know, just like you just said, they're pulling the plug off of the game. And there's a ton of people who wanted this game and they wanted this game to work. Like even myself not being interested in it, I've seen gameplay footage posted by some of the people that, you know, that we all know on Twitter and whatnot, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, that looks pretty good, you know, it looks fun. So it's a shame for them to do that, but on the same token, if they can't get it together to kind of fix what they've got, and you know, knowing how difficult it is for a game to crawl out of the grave, you know, it might be something that they might have to do, especially if their player count is just dwindling. Like, how are you going to get those people back, you know? So that might be the best option, because I mean they're losing the player base anyway. So I mean, yeah, probably.
Yeah. Forte, what do you think?
Being a fan, I don't want them to give up on it, but I also don't want to go through another instance where I'm hoping that Battlefield makes a change and a turnaround, and we're losing. The further we get into the future, the more games like that won't be relevant anymore. Battle royales have already started to take over. That was the one thing that I always thought Battlefield had a leg up on, was the fact that you can have smaller teams of a battle royale because there was so many players on a map. 128 people, that's more than you even have in a battle royale that has 100 people, and the maps are almost, if not just as big, I mean, they're not as big as a battle royale map, but they feel pretty big. And I always thought that Battlefield had a really good way, they cut themselves a nice little niche to still have relevancy when it comes to that, just to the fact that they still had squad-based gameplay with that many people. But they can't even do the simple thing like just matchmaking and having competent, you know, shooting mechanics anymore. And I do think with Vince Zampella taking over at DICE, and I don't think he got there fast enough to do anything to really impact what's going on with Battlefield 2042. I did hear
it looks like he's really focused on those other 3 games DICE is working on.
That's the thing. He's focused on the other stuff. So it just seems like EA just hasn't. They even came out in their earnings and said, "Well, we're not giving up on the game," but it looks like you did, because if you go to their website, when it comes to their supposedly what are they called? Their games as a service. They have their 5 top games, and they say Battlefield 5 is one of their games as a service. So they're telling me that Battlefield 5 makes more money than Battlefield 2042, which is a newer game. So at that point, it feels like EA has kind of given up on it, but they just haven't publicly given up on it because they still want to sell some of the copies of the game that they have out there at a reduced price. So,
or they probably would like anger the very few people who are left in it, who are like, wait a minute, I spent $70 on this game, and you gave up on it in less than a year. Yeah, 100. The top tier one. Yeah, the top edition. Like $100, and you gave up on the game in less than a year. I want my money back. Like that's going to be the argument that people will have, and like so they're gonna even though internally they may have to like, look, this is not it. It's over for this. Externally, they're gonna talk it up until enough people have, or at least talk it up enough until they can actually show another Battlefield game that's like semi, like maybe enough to do a trailer to say, look what's coming in the future kind of stuff. So it's unfortunate, it is what it is, but hey, look.
So you think maybe the next game will just kind of escort it to the grave?
No, I think they're gonna try to go back to their roots for the next Battlefield game. I think that would end up being,
that would be the only thing they can do,
right?
Honestly, or bring something like Battlefield Bad Company back. I think that might help a lot. I think that's the only other Battlefield game that people really truly want. I think you kind of burned your bridge with this Battlefield when it comes to like the modern style one. Not saying they can't come back to it, but I think they kind of need to like let this one go for a while and they go do something else, and maybe bring back the comedy of the Battlefield Bad Company franchise with part 3, get people back ingratiated with Battlefield through that, and then try your luck again at another modern one, towards the end of this generation, because right now nobody's going to trust anything they come out with when it comes to a modern style Battlefield game that kind of try to take itself a little bit serious. That's over for now, at least.
Yeah. Next on the topics list here is actually something that was announced today. GreedFall 2. Remember GreedFall? Well, GreedFall 2 was announced today. GreedFall 2: The Dying World. My question to you, Forte, did you play the first GreedFall?
No, I looked at it and I was like, no, I'm not playing this.
Why not?
I just wasn't. Well, when did the first one come out? 2017.
I think it was 20. Let me look it up. I think it was like 2018. I remember it being like 2019, actually, September 2019.
What happened in 2019? Oh, September. Oh yeah, never mind. That was when that's when Forsaken came out. So that's definitely why that game didn't get played. And if you don't know what Forsaken
Destiny.
is, Destiny.
Oh god, yeah.
That's
of course, that's why you didn't play a game anyway.
Yeah, Forsaken literally came out like probably that month, I think, and it was like the last time they came out with a DLC in September.
All right, Ramon, have you played GreedFall?
No, I never played it. I remember the first time I saw it, and considering, like smaller team and it was a AA game, I thought it looked fantastic for that, because I mean, it looks like what was AAA, back when PS3 was first hitting, like, the first Assassin's Creed. Mm-hmm. So I could appreciate it, but it was kind of one of those things where it sat it looked good, but it just sat just outside my interest, and I had some other things that I was playing anyway, so I never really had the chance to get into it.
Yeah, so like I was intrigued by this, and I think it was because I got kind of like hoodwinked with the whole, the comparisons. Like people compare a game to like classic games when they shouldn't. And I kind of feel like they kind of did this game a disservice by even mentioning it in the likes of, say, a BioWare kind of game, because that's when it does have, as far as game design goes, some similarities to those games, but the writing and the game design, as far as how the combat flows and works, it's not close. It's not close to a BioWare game. And I think that disappointment I had is the reason why I really didn't give it much of a shot when I first played it. Now, what you're seeing here gameplay is from PC. I decided to reinstall the game, and I shout out to Death Singer, our Legion of Scum and Scumcast panel member with us on Saturdays with the Ash and Luca. Singer really enjoys GreedFall 1, and he talking with him, I decided to like give it a little bit of a shot. You know, all the disappointment out of the way. You know, like now in 2022, see what the game is really kind of like. And it's not a terrible game. It's clearly a game that is made by a indie studio with very limited resources, and it shows. But it does have some potential there. Like I didn't uninstall it after I played it for like about 45 minutes. So I still think the combat kind of sucks a bit, but I'm hoping for GreedFall 2 that I like the theme and the world. I think the lore of the world is good. I think they got a good foundation there. I think they could work on like tightening up the gameplay, and I think the gameplay is like its biggest drawback. Do you, Forte, do you think you'll play the sequel?
I actually doubt it, because I forgot it was even coming out. Now that I see it and Destiny is dying in front of me a little bit, but I'm definitely going to go back and play the first one, because I did see gameplay of it and I was like really interested, and it kind of gave me the feeling that Mass Effect did, because I couldn't stand the first one as most people could.
See, that's look, everyone does that.
Yep.
They compare it to a God tier series, and then people go, Mass Effect.
Listen.
Like Mass Effect?
I'm not comparing it to Mass Effect. I'm just saying it's giving me when I saw the second one, it gave me the same feeling that
the trailer
Mass Effect gave me, because it was like, this looks awesome.
First one was rough, but the second one is really good. So you want to go back to
that's what it was. The second one, when I saw the second one, I was like, oh, I got to go back and play the first one though, because the second one looks that much better. And I was like, but
you think so? Because that little 30-second trailer, I actually wasn't impressed with the trailer. The GreedFall 2
Well, I had to go back and look at the first one, because when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, this looks really interesting and stuff. But I remember the original one, and I wasn't really too interested in the way that the first one looked. It kind of...
Okay, look, I'm playing. This is gameplay from the first game.
This is gameplay. Okay.
Yeah, so the trailer that they showed for 2 is like... Yeah, like visually, it's not a looker, clearly. But like...
Definitely not.
But, what they showed is like a 30-second trailer. I thought visually, let me not go too hard on them for that trailer, because what I will give them credit for is showing me a game that I absolutely do believe the game looks like that. So they didn't try to hit us with the okie doke, showing us visuals that they definitely couldn't achieve with the game when it fully comes out. So I appreciate that, because you're showing people what they're actually going to play, and not some fantasy that that once you start to scale the game, with all the limitations of consoles and stuff, once you start to scale that game to the hardware you're going to play it on, you start to have to, like take some of the detail out of the textures, and maybe take some detail out of the environment, so on and so forth, that it's not going to look like the same game. Thank you for not like basically ruining expectations for people, but the visuals for this game really aren't like some parts of the game looks fine. It's got, I think the art style is held back by the limitations of how the game looks, like as far as how the assets look. but I think the way the world and the art, the aesthetic of the art goes, that lends actually more towards helping the game out. The problem is, it's just that it's limited by probably the number of people that they had on staff to actually work on it. And again, like I said, that combat stinks. Like that's the it's like when I played Mass Effect 1, the combat sucked, but the story was so strong, the characters were so good that it just carried it. It just like, you know what, I'll deal with it. I'll work with it. And then, you know, after a while, you get through halfway through the game, you start losing people start dying, start making decisions that have great impact, and you just like, you don't care that the combat isn't that good. The problem with GreedFall, for me, at least for me, is that the combat was so bad that I just couldn't get over it. I do think after playing a little bit of it now, that be a little bit more patient. I started to understand what they were doing, what they were trying to do with the combat a bit more in the systems. And I think I might give it a go a little bit longer. I'm not saying I'm gonna beat the game or anything, but it's clearly like it wasn't as awful as I first initially thought it was. It has this. So my character in the game, in the first GreedFall, I wouldn't even call him a mage or anything, because it's like, I don't even know if those really exist in their world, but like you can have like two sets of weapons. I've got like a rapier, and I got like these magic attacks, and so I primarily use the magic attacks, but it's not turn-based or anything. It's very free-flowing, like almost like an action RPG. And it's I mean, it's okay, but it's so clunky. It's so clunky. It could be so much better. I do wonder when I don't think they said a release date, did they? I'll double check.
I don't think they did.
I don't think they have yet.
Okay, yeah, so no release date, so it's probably not even coming out this year. So hopefully, like, before they actually show us like some real gameplay, like that, there's a lot of stuff that's like fixed, like improved upon from the first game that I don't have to worry about.
Slow-mo, I don't mean to cut you off, but when you were creeping, the way his trench coat was like floating up and
you see what I'm saying, right? Like, it's just like the little things that like you just can't ignore. It'd be so like, oh my god, man! Like,
that was funny. Like,
oh man, it could use a lot of improvement. I'm playing this game. I'm playing it right now. It's at like 130. It fluctuates from 130 to 150 frames per second at ultra settings at 1440p. I get into a boss fight later on. We probably won't get an opportunity to see that. For some reason, the game went from being at 140 frames per second to 30 during the boss fight. It made no sense whatsoever. Like, it just got limited, and it wasn't like due to like my GPU not being able to handle it or anything, because it wasn't using enough VRAM to even max my GPU out. It was just weird. Like, so the game's got some optimization issues on PC, which clearly probably won't get fixed because this game is 3 years old already, so they're not fixing this stuff right now. If it's not fixed, it wasn't fixed 3 years ago, it's not gonna get fixed now. But yeah, we can move on. It's that's GreedFall. Good to see that they, a game that showed a bit promise is getting a sequel. A lot of times we see games that show promise, they don't get sequels. The Order 1886, Rise.
Oh man, that's
Rise, Son of Rome. Games that Sunset Overdrive, Quantum Break. I can go down the list of games. Oh, of course, these are all like second-party games to platforms, but these were also games that had some good positives, also had some negatives, and just because they didn't sell great, didn't get a a sequel. And maybe GreedFall sold more than what the publisher expected. I think it's Focus Entertainment is the publisher for this one. Maybe it sold more than what they expected, and therefore that allowed them to go forward with a sequel. Who knows? But we can move on. We can move on to
oh, wait a minute. Shout out to I was just checking my stuff. Shout out to that guy Smitty with the membership on the Gaming Forte channel. Shout out to you, bro. He came over and dropped the sub over there. I didn't want to wait until next week to do it. I was like, dude, you did it today in line with slow mo, so I'm gonna say thank you to you over here for doing it too, man. So appreciate you, man. Definitely gonna be a great time.
Shout out to Smitty. I love his support, man. That's a cool dude, man. Cool dude. I wanted to move on to something that came out today. We got some news today.
Uh-oh.
Forte, did you see the news?
Huh?
Did you see the news? Well,
yeah.
You know, PlayStation decided to give us a blog post talking about God of War Ragnarok and accessibility options. Now, I mean, like, I really appreciate them doing that. We got subtitle and caption improvements, text icon sizes, which I appreciate, because I don't know what it is up with these developers with like the 5 font they put in text sizes on subtitles. Like, even on like a 70-inch TV, you could barely read it. Like, what are you doing? Controller,
20 vision, and they be killing me.
Exactly, right. Controller remapping, which I love that. And high contrast mode, and it hit me. Why would they give us this information now? Like, why give us accessibility options of a game that's not coming out until next year, Forte?
I knew this was.
Why would they do that? You want to help me with this? Okay. I'm so confused.
So let's saw
that news. He was like, "Damn,
God dang it." I mean, part of me was happy, but for the side of me that always wants to be right. Dang, man. So let's get this out there. We don't want people to be misconstrued to the conversation here. Slow mo, I actually want this game to come out this year, but just the fact that I believe, due to the timing and when the game will release, I just don't believe it's coming out this year. So we do
even now,
right?
Even now, you still don't believe it's coming out this year.
Listen, I'm like Skip Bayless, man. I'm dying on my heel. I gotta die on this heel because I said it until they give me a release
So this isn't based on logic at all. This is just based on
it's
all pride. It's all pride.
It is not. I am telling you right now, this is not based on logic. This is based on my pride right now. I am literally going to go until Sony comes out with something that says God of War Ragnarok is releasing on August 23rd of 2022. If that is an actual date, it would be something. But until they do that until that moment happens, listen, man, that game ain't coming out this year.
By the way, I just want to, this gameplay you're saying is the PC version of God of War. It's running at native. Let me clear my throat when I say this. Native 4K ultra settings, 60 frames per second locked. Okay.
Damn PC elitist.
You can't get that on your PlayStation 5.
That right there. You see that anti-aliasing right there.
You
don't see a jaggy on that tree. On that man.
What jaggies? Ain't no jaggies. Ain't no jaggies out here, man.
I did see a little bit of screen tear right there.
Hey, look, don't worry about that.
Their resolution and their monitor, it ain't synced up to the right frame rate.
Well, look, man, it's like my 4K monitor. It's an LG. It ain't the best out here. I don't think I got. I think I got it. You know what? I may not have, because I was like testing.
You don't have VSync turned on.
Well, yeah. This is what I was doing. I was testing 4K. 4K 60, because the monitor, like my 4K monitor, is only 60 hertz anyway. And then I was also testing 1440p on my monitor that I play all my games on, which is 165 hertz. So like I was testing both monitors, and my 1440p monitor is G-Sync, but my 4K monitor isn't. So I probably didn't turn VSync back on. And that's probably
it's
why.
not bad. I just saw it for a second and I was like, oh, that's a screen tear.
Yeah.
But no, dude, no matter what, I will take a little bit of screen tear for my image to look this sharp.
Right. And look, and this
It does look incredibly sharp.
Such a good game right here, man.
And I look, and you know what's going to look just as sharp, but just with dynamic resolution. Ragnarok on PS5 in 2022.
Oh, man, that's gonna be
you know what, Forte, I had to tell you, like, I went back. I started looking at some of these other games when they announced accessibility options.
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, I don't think it's going to be as close as with these, but they announced the accessibility options for Horizon Forbidden West on February 10th, which was like a week before it came out. Of course, that's not going to be the case here with Ragnarok. Not that close, but still, it was, very, very close. The Last of Us Part 2, it was within weeks of the game coming out. So it seems to me that with the way they like to dole out information on their first party games, that if they're already showing us accessibility options, the game's probably not going to come out like 7 months from now. It's probably going to be a few months from now. We're probably going to get an announcement real soon. Mm-hmm. You probably should be glad I didn't take you on that bet. Just saying.
You should have took me on the bet.
No, I told you. I already got enough bets. I'm going to win off of you. I don't need to take more of your money. Ramon, I mean, you be the tiebreaker here, Ramon. What do you think? Do you think it's coming out this year?
Obviously nothing's 100%, but given the devs, given the page on PSN, and given their history of how they like to dole out information, at this moment, I'm going with 2022.
Smart man.
Okay.
Forte,
I will say this: if something for whatever reason happens and it does come out in 2020,
no, you gotta hold. No,
I'm not. Will you let me finish what I'm trying to say? If it comes out, if it happens to be 2023 slow mo, Forte is going to be unmanageable,
unbearable.
Completely unbearable to all of us. I don't think that's gonna happen, but if it does happen, we all might as well just hang up.
Y'all better hope for a release date before July. If it don't come before July, it ain't coming this year.
Gosh.
I'm trying to tell y'all better pray. Listen, and I feel bad doing this.
Better pray.
Listen.
What do we need to pray for? We already know it's coming out this year.
No, listen, I feel disgusting inside because I want this game to come out this year, but I just don't. If that game is not announced by the end of July to have a release date this year, it ain't coming this year, and I don't see them giving it a date before then.
So why did they show us the accessibility options now?
Why did they do anything?
Don't answer a question with a question. Answer my question. Why did they do it now?
Just slow-mo. This is all driven by. This is all an opinion. This isn't a guarantee. This is me using my knowledge of all of the different.
Answer the question. Do you know or do you not know?
Nobody knows. Only Sony knows that.
Okay, what is your theory on it?
I told you what my theory is. Due to the fact that Sony has not released a first-party title outside of console releases, they have not released a first-party title past September. If they do not announce God of War
That's not
Ragnarok,
answering my question.
That's
why?
Me giving you my
No,
reason.
no, I'm not. I'm asking you, why did they show us accessibility options in May?
Why did Todd Howard
What is
show
your
us a
theory?
release date?
What is
Why
your
did
theory?
Todd Howard show us a release date last year? Who knows?
Broadman arguments. What about isms? Cut it out. Answer my question.
Why did they show us
I'm
Craig?
about to treat you. I'm treating you like Amber Heard on the stand right now. Answer the question. Stop deflecting.
You want me to answer? You want me to answer? No
Why did they?
Why did Amber Heard take a crap in the bed? Who knows?
More deflections.
Who
Mr.
knows,
Forte,
Slow-Mo?
Mr.
Slow-Mo,
Forte, answer the question. Mr. Forte, answer the question.
You are not about to badger the witness. You're not about to do that.
You are not the witness. You are the defendant.
Listen, okay, for real. I can't answer the question because I don't know the answer to that question of why they showed it. You are absolutely right. When they show accessibility options in a video game, that is pretty much proof positive that they're going to release it that year. I just choose to live on a square that I built a mountain on until they come out and officially say it. That's all I'm waiting for.
Your mountain is an anthill.
It's fine. And guess what,
and
Slow-Mo?
my boot is about to kick that thing down.
And guess what, Slow-Mo? And guess what, Slow-Mo? I gave you every opportunity to put money to it and be like, listen, I was willing to do it. Now, if there was money on the line, I probably would have been like, you know what? I don't really feel like losing $100. I'd rather lose 50. So let's just call this a loss. But the fact that there's nothing on the line, I could just stick to my original thing. And
all right, so you're basically
on that hill with his fist up in there.
He's just fighting it. He's just fighting it because he's got nothing else to do, and it's fine.
That is very much part of it, right?
That is fine. That is fine. We see everyone in the chat is disagreeing with you. Shout out to
Eric said Forte just took a bump of coke on the stand.
No, I'm good. Hey, look, man. Listen.
Thank you, Persona. If it was delayed, we would have known by now.
I agree. But guess what? It's not that I don't want it. Listen, Persona. You know me. This is all based off of the fact that I said this over a year ago when everybody was like, it's coming this year. I said, no, it's not coming this year. It ain't come last year. And then we still ain't hearing no information for this year. I was like, no, it's not coming out this year. I believe it's coming out next year. So I'm just one of those people, unless Sony comes out and says definitively that game is coming this year, it's not coming out until they officially does it. But guess what? I want the game. That's why I feel bad. That's why Slow-Mo does this to me, because he knows how bad I want this game to come out this year, but he also knows how conflicted I am because of the statement I made and how so entrenched I am with my thoughts on this game not releasing in 2022. Let's hope it does, because I want this game to come out, but just for the sake of my bet, not even a bet, but for the sake of this argument with Slow-Mo, because I don't want to hear Slow-Mo, it did come out. Are you enjoying that game that you didn't think was coming out to 2023? Why don't you just buy that game in 2023 since you ain't coming out this year? You should just wait an entire year to play God of War and let people that knew the game was coming out play it before you get a chance to play it.
I wouldn't even say all that. I would just be I would just let you know that I was right once again. But we can move on.
I mean, that's nothing new. You're always right.
Let's discuss a bit of a topic that seems to have been
Harry Shea said, why am I trying to stop y'all fun? shout out to EJack.
A topic of interest this week, and it's okay. So for those who aren't aware, there's been a bit of a debate going on online on Twitter about what makes someone a gamer. And to not go rehash the entire history of what's going on, because I discussed part of this on Lunchtime with Slow-Mo a few days ago, and it's a lot at this point to go through, so I'm not going to go through it all. But essentially, there was an Xbox ambassador who decided to take it upon herself to defend Phil Spencer and the whole Starfield and Redfall being delayed and the criticisms that Phil Spencer has gotten due to that. And what ended up coming out of this is that people started to question the credentials of gaming credentials of this ambassador, and come to find out that, look, she barely plays games. And when she does play them, or what she seems to be, is she very much admitted that she mostly watches her husband play games, which on itself there's nothing wrong with that. If you occasionally play games, if you much prefer to watch your spouse or family member who seems to be a better gamer at playing these games than you play those games, so be it. Just that your level of gaming and I would say your opinions on certain things, like people will choose whether they want to like respect that or respect what you have to say about certain things or not. All that said, being an ambassador for Xbox, I admit I was shocked that what very low requirements it was to be an ambassador. You only have to have a 1500 gamer score, which is essentially like
a game and a half.
A game and a half. Like, even if you don't completely do all the achievements for one game, maybe 3 games, of decent level, a level of acquiring achievements would get you that 1500. So that and a squeaky clean profile where you haven't been reprimanded for, say, cussing people out or whatever else, socially, that's fairly easy. But I mean, we can get into whether that's worth being like whether that should be enough to be Xbox ambassador. I really don't care, because it's their platform. They can do it however they want. That said, it's what started from this was this whole discussion on, can you, because there was a Xbox, she worked for marketing? I think she worked for marketing for Xbox. Came out, and I think she probably really caused this to kind of blow up the way it did the most, because she tried to defend this Xbox ambassador, but she did so really in saying things that just weren't true. And we could discuss this, whether, maybe you guys disagree. We'll see. But she started saying things like, if you play games, you're a gamer. If you watch someone play games, you're a gamer. What was the other one? She had another example that wasn't quite true either, but it's the whole watching people play games makes you a gamer that people tend to have a ton of problems with. And so I guess we could start this off by going to Ramon. Ramon, what did you think about all of this, and overall, what do you think makes someone a gamer?
Aside from all of the stuff that she said that just had me there's some other, I won't get into some of the other stuff that I've seen that she said that practically triggered me, because it sent my annoyance levels into the stratosphere. But one, gamer, the operative part of that word, ER, the 2 letters ER, gamer, someone who games, who games. Watching games and enjoying watching games makes you a gaming enthusiast. It makes you somebody who enjoys watching games. But if you don't engage in playing, then you're somebody who is an enthusiast. I totally get firsthand the whole thing about, well, I don't get to play as much as I would like, or I used to, because now I'm more involved on the behind the scenes aspect of it. I don't get to read as many books as I used to. I used to read over 60 books, 40, 50, 60 books a year. Now I'm lucky if I get to read more than 5 to 7 books in a year. There's a reason for that. Gaming, I have to bounce back and forth between getting a lot of gaming in or getting a lot of reading in. I can't do both and get a lot of it in. So I get that. But calling herself a gamer when she has I just started gaming on Xbox late last year, and my gamer score is almost as much as hers. And Xbox isn't my main, so that's why I haven't played that much on it. So no, I don't agree with her at all that watching video games makes you a gamer, because you're not actively engaging in that. Second, I don't understand what it is about gaming that makes people who aren't gamers want to participate in the community at such an active level. 2, as far as what she said, I mean, not what she said, What was the other thing? I got so freaking triggered.
Yeah, I almost want to bring her tweet back up if I can find it.
Oh yeah, about you know, can you do the job? Blah blah blah.
Oh no, that was the ambassador. That was the ambassador's
Yeah,
logic for defending Phil Spencer, which I also don't agree with. But go ahead, continue.
Oh man, don't even. Yeah, that crap. Like it's so ridiculous that as soon as I read that she said that, I automatically dismissed not only that comment but anything she might ever have to say about anything else. She immediately disqualified herself from having any kind of reputable perspective on anything from me based on that. It was so absolutely ridiculous. Like it just blew my mind. Like, so you don't know what's good and bad in something that you consume, and you can only comment on it if you actually do it.
Right.
And then I completely dismiss her.
It's very nuanced in both of their arguments, because at one side the ambassador is saying that you can't criticize something if you don't do it or you're not good at it, which is like, okay, so I mean, I am not a chef, but if I go to a restaurant and my steak is not cooked to the level that I said I wanted medium rare, and you give me well done, can I not complain because I'm not a chef?
Exactly.
You know, that doesn't make sense. But then on the other side of it is that just because, like, the other side of it is just that. I'll use the same example. I'm not a chef. I don't, just because I may cook at home occasionally doesn't mean I am like a restaurant level chef. Just because I watch I watch some aviation videos doesn't mean I'm a pilot now. You know, just because I watch the NBA playoffs doesn't mean I'm a professional NBA player. That's not how this works. Like it's,
you know what?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's something really, it kind of lit up my suspiciousness of this whole thing. Like, to me, it reeks of getting in on a community where you can get acceptance fairly quickly, building up her resume, really getting in, you know, getting her name out there, and then when a quote unquote bigger opportunity comes along, she has credentials, she has resume, yada yada yada, to make that biggest step forward. Because people who are really, you know, into the hobby, no matter what hobby it is, they know the ins and out. They live and breathe it. You love this stuff. And even though you have limit, look at Gamer MD. This dude, just by the nature of his profession, has less time than all of us, and he still manages to play games. You know what I mean? He still manages to play games, and you can see the passion and enthusiasm he has for gaming. I don't get any of that from her. So like, it just seems suspicious to me, like she's using this as a stepping stone to get to something quote unquote bigger and better. But maybe I just feel that way because her whole perspective offends me. So I don't know.
I got you. Forte, what do you think about this, man? Hold on. But before you say anything, shout out to Dorian Gray with a $2 super chat. Said, can we get a PC master race in the chat? You know, and Dorian, I don't like to brag about the superiority of the PC master race, the superiority of our hardware, or the flexibility and versatility of PC that allows us to game the way we want to game and not the way the developer has chosen us to game. But you know, I don't like to brag on and call it master race. I just, you know, I think it's just divisive and it hurts people's feelings. And then you get like console guys trying to, you know, they get new hardware and they always want to compare it to PC like it's not the, you know, stuff that we didn't already get like a generation and a half ago. So just, yeah, I don't like to do that, Dorian. You know how it is. Anyway, go ahead, Forte.
Go ahead. All of that.
So speaking of that, shout out to everybody. We got two members at least, so now we can open up another one. I already have the PC Master Race emote done because I know Slow-Mo wants one. So
I would never, but we can add it.
We're gonna add the PC.
It was like a Ren and Stimpy. When have I ever?
we ever. We're gonna add it for the people that love PC up in the. We're also gonna add
Fingers over your heart.
PlayStation 5 so they can all have a console war in the comment section. But
Oh my goodness.
no, but yeah, for me, man. See, I didn't want to be super hard. Like I was on the phone with you guys and I was talking to you about it. And I was like, yeah, well, I think people are just being a little too hard on her. And then I went to go look at, like, cause at that point I really hadn't paid attention to the stuff she was saying. I just kind of heard about it. And then I started looking, I said, oh, this isn't that bad. I can understand where people are coming from. But then I started seeing like all the subtweeting and stuff to it and the stuff that she was saying after the fact. And I was like, oh man, this ain't good. This ain't good. I was like, you got to know what you're a part of. Like, there's people where gaming literally saved their lives when it comes to this type of stuff. Like, it kept a lot of us out of the streets. It literally is like, when I think about myself, I spent more times in video games than anything else. Like, and I done a lot of stuff. And in video games, is still probably at the top of that list. I remember being up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, putting in, playing Mega Man and Life Force and stuff on my N64 and playing Contra and stuff like that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I remember all of these different things, going to the arcade, putting quarters on the counter. Gaming isn't just something that we just invented, not something that we just started doing at home. This is something people went to the arcades and spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a month. They're spending money, so we take this stuff real serious. And I think that's kind of the thing that's being missed in all of this. People think that you can, can people be a little bit cold and callous and over the top? Absolutely. But it comes from a place of gaming. When you see individuals talk about gaming in the way that it was being portrayed in all of those different posts, it kind of just hurts your heart a little bit, because it's like, when did we start not caring about the experiences that games give us and start talking about all of the things that happen on the outside of gaming that give all these people voices and stuff? Like, you would think that if you are a person in this community, games should be the number one thing that you talk about, and then people gravitate to you on the type of things that the conversations you have around those games and the things that you learn. And that's how you ended up building all these type of friendships with different people, by just listening to their experiences and where they came from in gaming. Hearing things that she was saying was more of, I fell into this, like my wife is not a gamer. She's kind of one, but she plays Grand Theft Auto. She only plays that one game. She'll play Red Dead Redemption when that comes out, but she'll never come down here and like look up gaming or say she knows all this stuff about it, because she just plays the one thing and that's all she really cares about. But it seems like just because you feel like you have a seat at the table, that every little in and out of what's going on with gaming, and that's just kind of sacrilegious at this point. It's like, there's more to it, and people don't understand that it's more of a culture. It's actually more of like a family atmosphere. When I'm at work, a person can literally come into the store and ask me about a Final Fantasy game, and we can have a 40-minute conversation about what's going on. I remember going into, people coming into GameStop talking to me about BioShock Infinite, and when they finally beat the game, they say, yo, I finally beat the game. I know you wanted to talk to somebody about it because of the way the game ended, and you were blown away and you were like shocked because of all the other BioShocks. And I was like, yo, having these real genuine conversations with people because of the experience that gaming gave you. And if you can't have that type of genuine conversation with people without all the extra stuff and the promotional stuff like that, and feel like you have to be a part of a community to feel like you belong, well, play games. And if you play games, you will be a part of the community, because that's all we ask you to do. Don't get upset when people are trying to check your credentials at the door. Like my boy Persona always say, are you verifiable? can we go pull up your information and see that you actually are playing these games that you talk about you are enjoying? And and if you aren't playing those games, then it's not that we're not going to take your position serious. It's just that we want to know what kind of person we're talking to. Are you a person that likes to, enjoy games from afar? Do you watch other people play the games? What do you think of the game by just looking at it? Do you think it's a game that somebody would be interested in by just seeing it? Those are the type of things we want to hear from you. We don't want to hear about, oh, I've been playing Quake 2 or Quake whatever for like years and I really enjoy the gameplay, but then you only played it for 30 minutes and it doesn't look good. So that's
to be accurate. I agree with you. To be accurate, she said 2 hours, and she only been playing it
because of the new.
Well, yeah, she played it. Yeah, she played. Well, no, she said she played the original one. She said that's why she loved.
Yeah, but the original one, there was no.
That was before.
There's no stats and stuff, so you can't even verify that. But it's the fact that if you're gonna say that you enjoyed the original ones, but you were very strong in the way that you said that. But if you're going to say you enjoyed the original ones, but then when you come to find out that you said you played a couple hours, but you only played 30 minutes, what are we supposed to think about your take on you saying, well, did you even play the originals? Right. Is this just something that came across your desk and you were like, oh, yo, this is a new game that's coming out and it's coming to Xbox Game Pass or coming back to whatever service, and I think you guys should try it out. So I'm just going to throw some words out there because I got 18,000 followers that actually listen to what I say. So that's kind of the message that a lot of people are fighting against. I always used to get on people about like, why are we telling people what to do with their followers and stuff? Their followers are their followers. I understand that misinformation and stuff is out there, but this was a point blank reason why people don't want people doing it. That's why people have problems with the media, saying the things that they say and stuff like that, because you have a voice, and if you're using your voice in an ill-constructive way, that is a damaging thing for the people that actually take this stuff real serious, because now you have to go out there and you feel like it's your responsibility to tell people what the real is when it comes to this type of stuff. And I applaud people like Luca, like Bari, and everybody else, and like Persona that's been going online and they've been talking about this stuff on a consistent basis, because gaming is what we are all about, and it feels like that was under attack over the course of the last couple of months, and not only by just other fellow gamers, but by people that we thought were people we looked up to, like, at these different publications like IGN and stuff like that, when it came to their critiques of games and stuff. It just comes down to a situation where you feel like, did they really care at all? Or was that just all fluff that they were pretty much putting off? So I'm glad that people are doing it. It's great, but she definitely did not make herself look good in the matter. But I also do think the community can go a little too far, but ultimately that's what needed to happen in this situation, to let people know that we're not going to allow stuff like that to keep happening.
Can I add something on to that real quick?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I saw a little bit of a clip of a video that where she was talking, and this is what is about her one of the things that gets my back up about her. She was like, yeah, I don't play video games for enjoyment anymore. She's like, I just play video games now to kind of see how, the depth of what's behind the video game that relates to me, and how I can what this game has to do with me and my experience, and how I can share that with other people. She's like, so I don't know what changed. Maybe I just grew up a little bit. You can look the video up. I can I can send it to you. So aside from so many things being wrong with that, it's like, first of all, that comes off as pretentious and shallow pretentious and shallow, trying to sound deep. That's the first thing that it came off as. And second, grew up a little bit. Like, can there be a more condescending way to speak down on a hobby that like hundreds of millions of people enjoy? But she's an ambassador, and she says something like that. An ambassador pretty much told all of these people that she's supposed to be talking to, that they're pretty much like children for playing games for enjoyment, because she grew up a little bit. Maybe she just misspoke and didn't mean it that way, but she's already had her foot all the way down her throat, and then that just made it worse. So yeah, sorry.
Let me say my piece on this real quick, and I'm not going to touch on how she took any kind of constructive criticism or people disagreeing with her and took it as her being attacked. I think that's a whole different discussion on how people can't take criticism without taking it personally. I'm not going to get into the whole, like, why all the what I call them the checkmark brigade, all the people on Twitter with check marks coming to her defense without actually being able to mount the defense for the things that she said. I'm not going to get into any of that. What I'm just going to talk about specifically right here is what is a gamer and what it means to be a gamer. And I think it's really easy to determine what a gamer actually is by how you interface with these games. If you're someone who doesn't know what it feels like to go up against a boss and lose over and over and over again and finally get that win, and that feeling of accomplishment, like in Elden Ring fighting Millennia, Blade, and Milica. Everyone knows who played Elden Ring and got to that the hardest boss in the game knows what I'm talking about. To fight Millennia like 5 million times and finally take her down, there's a level of, there's a feeling, a sense of accomplishment that you can't get from watching someone do that. It's not the same. Doing the Mass Effect 2 suicide mission and the tension and pressure of trying to make the right decision of who to use in certain situations. You could watch someone do that and you may actually feel some pressure, some tension, but it's nowhere near what the person who actually has to make those decisions is feeling. When you're playing games, accomplishing things, when it's up to you, when you're working with people doing raids, when you play Fortnite and you win, or when PUBG when you got that chicken dinner, like that level of accomplishment is not the same as watching something. Yes, there's a level of enjoyment from watching things, you know, and like I watch streamers, entertaining streamers all the time, but like it's never the same as me actually playing the games myself.
Right.
It's never the same as me trying new experiences, trying new indie games. Like I played Fury for a game that came out in 2016, 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, wow, I missed out on this when it first came out. This is a cool game. And that level of enjoyment, like if you look at Fury, you probably be like, I mean, all right, you know, the music sounds pretty cool and the art style's a little different, but you know, what's the big deal? You're not going to be able to really determine what the big deal of that game is until you play it yourself. There are games that, like, just going through the game and it's and accomplishing things gives you a level of endearment with the characters and the world and the stories that gives you a little bit more oomph when you're doing certain things in the game. All kinds, Dragon Age, Final Fantasy, Mass Effect, all these games out here, RPGs that are amazing games, right? And if you just watch somebody play that, you may say, oh, well, that looks interesting. But it will never be the same as you actually playing it. And the people who understand that, the people who are listening to what I'm saying right now and nodding their head, they're gamers. They know what I'm talking about. The people who don't get it and don't agree, I mean, look, you may like to watch somebody play games, but it's not really who you are. And there's nothing wrong with that, except who you are. I'm not trying to tell you to go out and start like doing things that you don't enjoy. You know, don't go play games because you want to be a part of a community, but it's not what you like. You're wasting your time and your money. Don't do that. But just understand who you are. And when people tell you what is a gamer, don't push back on that. And what I find very disheartening is when people who work for Xbox are the ones who are saying that, because it kind of makes me wonder, like, do you just not care about any of this? Or is it really just about money? Because if you can get people who aren't even gamers to engage in your platform, of course, where their money is as good as everyone else's, right? Their subscription service, like that when that subscription runs at the end of the month, it's no different than anybody else, right? So as far, like, why would you care at that point? But us as gamers, we care, because when we care about certain things, we care about how we are treated within the community. We care about not getting price gouged on certain things. When we care about the quality of the games that we play, we want the very best, and we're not out here just watching other people play or just talking about things in Twitter spaces and podcasts with zero actual experience in what it's really like. So I'm done monologuing. And anyone else you got to say about this?
Monologuing.
Yeah, that was like, you explained it in a much more concise and, quite frankly, calm, in terms of myself, more calm way. I probably could have. I'm completely triggered by her whole MO, but that was really well put.
Thank you. Rodimus said, I paid $20 to watch Slow-Mo play a game. I'm a gamer. If that's all you do, Rodimus, then you are not a gamer, sir. Although I don't think that's the case. I think you play games. It's just that Xbox isn't really providing much for you to play at the moment. That's all right.
Oh my God, leave that man alone.
Shout out to Ricky in the chat, homie Ricky. He says, are you a gamer if you use the mimic tier? Hey, look, we're not gonna be mimic tier shaming out here, okay? I might have a mimic. Okay, it's an Elden Ring thing. There's a particular, so in Elden Ring.
No, I'm not talking about the mimic tier. I've seen enough people talking about that. I'm talking about that glob or whatever it is you're fighting.
Oh, I have no idea what them things are. They are annoying though. This is gameplay of me helping my friend out in his game. He is it's my old college roommate. He is a super noob in From Software games. So it's just like me and one of his friends have been co-oping with him every other night, it seems, trying to help him get through the game. And it's been kind of funny because you like I like co-oping because you get invaded very, very frequently. So the invasions are hilarious. Like some of the names of some of the people that invade you, yeah, some of which I ain't gonna say on the air, but the invasions are always, whether we end up no, we good
man. I got busted up on an invasion on Demon Souls.
Yeah,
I made a really bad rookie mistake.
Oh, what happened? What did you do?
I had defeated the boss, and so then you know how they restores your physical body, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can use the photo mode as a pause. So I went into photo mode because I needed to and then I heard the sound come back, and I'm like, why is there sound? And I looked and I'm like, why is everything moving? And so then I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then it dawned on me, I was like, son of a bitch. And then this dude comes running up with the only thing way I can describe it is it looks like a gigantic over embellished chef hat. Comes running up to me, and he does this freaking ground fire thing and just completely just immolates me on the spot. I was pissed. So yeah, that was my rookie mistake. I was hot.
It can't be worse than my rookie mistake. Have you killed any vendors, Ramon?
No, I almost did when I saw that dude crouched there, but I was like, wait a minute, he's not attacking. He must be like, talk to him.
Yeah, yeah. See, I wish I would have realized that before I started attacking. There was a vendor. I think it was like on the first world or whatever. I can't remember, but like the guy was just crouched in the corner on top of a box or something. I'm just like,
behind those barrels, you have to.
yeah, and I'm just like, why
Yeah.
why are you looking like that? He had this look on his face, like he was like, I can't. If you fall asleep, it's a wrap for you and your hind parts. And I was just like, nah, fam. I just immediately started attacking them, and everyone that I was screaming, and everyone in my chat was like, "Stop, slow mo, stop!" And I'm like, "What was wrong?" Then I realized he was a vendor. I tried to make amends. He wasn't having it, so I had to kill him. It was very unfortunate, but yeah, that was my big rookie mistake. Now I know if I can't lock onto them, they are an NPC, and they are generally good. There's some NPCs in Elden Ring that I just straight up attack immediately. Shout out to that guy at Stormvale Castle, that jerk. Anyway,
That jerk, you got hurt.
no, there's a guy that comes off very innocent at Stormvale Castle, but if you let him live after you meet him, he'll lock you in a room with a knight. When you go in there to try to get a key. So it's just like little things like that. Like I really enjoy Elden Ring. Elden Ring's fun. But no, to get back to the topic. No, yeah, it's this whole entire conversation right now we just had. Like, if you didn't play games, like you just couldn't even engage in the conversation. You know, like there'd be nothing that you could talk about because these are things that you wouldn't experience, you wouldn't know. You just don't get the same level of understanding by watching someone else do it. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But we can
talking about games is awesome.
Of course,
very therapeutic.
Yeah, for those of us who play them.
Yeah, that's why there's like 20 million podcasts out here.
Can you imagine if? Do you think all those podcasts actually play games? Ooh, that's a good one, ain't it?
You know what?
No calling.
Hold on.
Any names out, but there's a lot of podcasts out there.
I'm not gonna call no names out, but this is what I'm gonna say, right? I think it's probably a scale, so to speak. I think the most successful ones probably play the games the least, and the least successful ones probably play the games the most.
I think you are absolutely right.
Yeah.
Because I think that a lot of people, I think there's a lot of people out here who enjoy listening to people talk about certain things, but the things that they like to listen to people talk about have nothing to do with gaming.
Yeah.
It's a lot of capping, a lot of console warring.
We're talking about from the people that are doing the podcast perspective, not the viewer perspective.
I know, but I'm saying, but like the viewers, what ends up becoming, I think, the most successful podcasts are the ones that like they're not even talking about games. Like they don't talk. Like think about all the podcasts that you listen to, right? The majority of them.
A lot of cap and no game.
How many of them are actually talking about the games they played?
Yeah, that's true. That's why I don't listen to those.
Yeah, just go through all the podcasts that's gaming related that you listen to. How much of the podcast is about the game that you played or they played? And maybe sometimes they do talk about the game, right? But then how much of it is just talking about news? And
okay, well that's different if you're talking about the breakdown of games versus news and stuff like that. That now you're right about that. There is
and then there's some that never talk about a single game they play.
That's true.
They talk about can't wait for this game to come out, and then when it come out, they just talk about the next game they can't wait to come out. So it's just like, but what happened to the previous game you were so hyped for?
I don't know too
or
many
play it just enough so they can talk.
I don't know too many podcasts that actually talk about a game as a main thing until big games come out. And since big games don't come out all the time.
But here's the thing, right? This one thing about talking about a game and be like, oh yeah, man, I played it. Like the graphics are amazing, visuals are amazing, but they can't talk about nothing in detail. You know, they can't give you like, you know what I don't like how they got the design of like how you implement the armor and how the armor helps. I kind of wish maybe if you wear all of the same set that you get some kind of bonus. You don't get any bonuses from me. Like if someone starts talking like that, you know they've been playing the game. But when you hear people just say like, man, yeah, you know, like I played it and, you know, I was it was all right, you know, it was I did some stuff and I ran a few missions. It was like fetch quests or something. It was all right. All right, you play the game?
Okay.
How much of the game did you play? Like can you name any of the characters? Can you tell me what was going on? Can you explain like how the combat works? Can you tell me, is it like does it switch from third person from first person? Like how? Right. Explain some things for me. Like if people start asking them questions about the game, can they answer those questions? And it seems to me that like so much of the conversations in these gaming podcasts don't actually get in depth with anything. They'll get more in depth about like arguments they got into with people of like, you know, in gaming discussions than they do actual games.
Right.
Like I could like if there was someone else in here talking about the Division 2 with me, I could get into guaranteed the 90% of the audience that ain't gonna give a crap about it, but I could get into a deep conversation about gear sets. Which gear sets are good and how I think that the gear sets in the Division 1 are far superior to the ones in Division 2. And I could go through, it could be a 15-minute conversation. It'll be like 2 people left watching it, but like I could do that because like I play that game, you know? Or Elden Ring. I could, you know, like Richard in the chat was talking about the Mimic tier. And like, although you can't use the Mimic tier, but this would be perfect. If someone who hasn't played Elden Ring before said that you could co-op and use the Mimic tier at the same time, people who have played Elden Ring would be like, wait, what?
What did you just say?
Because you can't do that.
Right.
So why would you have you played the game? See, that's when people expose themselves, which another reason why I think people don't really get too in depth on things that they play.
That's true.
Because they don't want to expose themselves by saying something that ain't true.
You just talk about the generic stuff that everybody know about the game.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Right. And so
skirt the side.
And you know, this is I think we're getting kind of in the minutia of like how this stuff
I mean,
is.
That's just an interesting. I wasn't even expected to go there, but that's more of an interesting take on the conversation because, you know, gaming podcasts that talk about everything but games and stuff. I do think a majority of the ones that we like to listen to on a consistent basis do talk about it, but even those, they have their moments where it does split off into things that aren't just about games and stuff. Games become like a smaller subsection of it, and we're talking about everything that happened around games, which is good, because I do think that there's not enough games that come out to hold a conversation, because most of the games that do release aren't like Halo, where Halo can be a conversation for a month on a podcast due to all the things that's going on, or something like Call of Duty, or even Elden Ring. Elden Ring was another one. People were talking about that on podcasts for like a good 2 to 3 weeks after it came out, when they started getting their completions and their clears and stuff. You don't get games like that all the time, so I don't think saying that it's a bad thing that happens, but we also can tell the ones that don't play any of these games at all out here, and it's like, what are you even contributing to the conversation, and why is this even being brought up on here if you haven't even experienced it for yourself?
Right. You know, Eric in the chat, shout out to Eric, says a very good point. He said they talk more about acquisitions, the acquiring of studios that they are looking forward to, as opposed to the games that will come from it. And I'll take that a step further. Yep. We see people talking highly about studio acquisitions of in those studios games they don't like. They have been publicly talking about in the past how they hate those games. They find those games boring. Now they're excited for them. What are you excited for? You don't like those games.
Right.
Just because a company that you rep for now owns the publisher or the studio does not make those games any different. They're not going to design those games any differently now that they are being. You're going to see an Xbox game studio logo or whatever when you load the game up. It's not going to change anything.
Oh, look at K.
Yeah, but it just means their team is closer to winning. That's what
This is which podcasters you all clowning name. Man, this is so much. K, this is so much slander for gaming podcasts that you can just like it's a good like 65% of all of them. So just put a number in a hat and just stick your hand in there. What you come out with, I'm sorry, a number, a name, put a bunch of names in a hat. Shake it up, put your hand in there, pull out a name. It's probably who we talking about. There's that many people that are doing this stuff. So it's just like
I will say this though. Okay, so everybody in this community has been guilty of it at some point. Everybody has, because there's sometimes games are just not the focal point when it comes to some podcasts and stuff. It just comes down to just talking about whatever's relevant that's going on inside the community, maybe on Twitter or acquisition season and stuff like that, where there's
a difference between that and building your platform off of just that.
And that's the difference right there. That's where I think the difference is. Because like if I sit here and I think about the people that I listen to on a consistent basis, it's not. I know those people play games, so that never crosses my mind.
I would like to amend the whole. Everyone has been guilty of this.
You don't think so? I think we've been guilty of it on Brap every once in a while, talking about stuff that wasn't just about games every once in a while.
That's not the same thing as building a platform.
It's different.
I don't agree with that part. You're right about that. We never been a part of anything where we built anything from like around any, like even this show isn't built around that. So I'm not saying that. I'm just saying on the conversation of every podcast has had moments where it hasn't been about games at that moment. It's happening on every show, because every show can't be always about every game, because every game's not interesting enough to have a conversation like that about it, especially during down periods like we are kind of in right now. But I always know that games are always going to still be the focus of what the show is, even if it's not a game that's going to be super interesting during that conversation. It will still be probably a topic that's brought up that we can still keep it related to gaming. But I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the people that go out and literally build a platform based on all of the ancillary stuff outside of just games and stuff. And that's something that I don't agree with. And that's something that I know myself and a lot of people that we support in our community don't do that either. But there are a lot of people out there that do it though.
I just want to clarify. I am not taking shots at people who, maybe I am.
No, you are. You're definitely taking shots.
Let me say that, like, I don't have an issue with someone who barely plays games. I have an issue with people who misrepresent that they barely play games, because like
facts.
If you like, what, I'm in a funk right now. I just don't really feel like playing anything. My response could be, I get that. I feel like that sometimes too. I understand. Or just, I just like playing Overwatch. I just like playing Destiny. I don't really like playing anything else. I get on Forte for that, but that's what Forte want to play. That's what he wants to do. That's what his time, his platforms, his money. You do whatever the heck he wants with it. Really.
And I got more time in one game than most of these people have in all the games they try to play combined.
Right, but yep. It's the misrepresenting what you do that irks me. The people who say they beat a game but they didn't beat. The people who say that they play games that they don't play. The people who do the list wars in console war. Oh, we got this, we got that, we got that. Did you play any of it? Those are the ones that I got a problem with. And then those be the main ones that show up on their podcast talking about, oh man, this is why I had so much problem with the people who tried to argue with me about Halo Infinite being delayed. because I knew these people weren't going to be the ones that was going to be playing Halo Infinite very often. So it's like, this is not even a game that you're going to play for longer than 12 hours.
Right.
So why do you care? I want the game to
care?
be good and be a game that I can keep playing for months on end. No matter how good the game is, you're going to drop the game very quickly.
Right.
For various reasons. One, you're probably not that big of a Halo player, or you're kind of a victim in multiplayer.
Right.
So
shout out to the victims.
shout out to the victims. You know, I hope the therapy is working for y'all. But regardless, like those, like if that's you, like, don't really talk to me about a game that you really don't care that much for, and I can kind of tell, like, already it doesn't matter if it's the best Halo game ever or the worst. You only want it to be out when it was supposed to be coming out so that you could brag to the PlayStation guys about, we got games right now and you don't. And that has nothing to do with gaming. Period. So, like, if that's your sole reason for it, I would prefer you just shut up and mind your business when actual Halo, like, gamers is talking about the game.
Yeah, I think a lot of people probably was like, well, just say the name, Listen, ain't gonna say no names, mostly due to the fact that there's a lot of people. I can already see it now. You start naming people and say people's names, and then all of a sudden it's like, I only named 3 or 4 people that I don't believe do that, but then what about all the other people I know that I just didn't name them in the video? So I just rather just be like, you know who you are. If you're one of those people that talk about, really big about playing all these games, and then you go on these shows and talk about everything about a game that you know nothing about, and you want to have an opinion about something you know absolutely about, then we're pretty much talking about you. But for the most part, like I said, people that we support on a consistent basis, people that we do live streams with, or people that we do podcasts with, they know that we ain't talking about them. But we're not going to put any names or anything out there because we don't want people to feel like, well, if I didn't name him, then that means this person's suspect. So we're not trying to go there with it. It's just more of going back to that conversation around, what it takes or what it means to be a gamer. Especially when you go out into the podcast sphere, you kind of open yourself up to criticism and stuff, because you are becoming somewhat of a public figure, because you are talking in a public forum where people have the chance to actually take the things you say and, put that to practice, or take that however they want to take it. So you have a responsibility to actually know what you're kind of talking about. And if you don't do that, people that are playing these games and know exactly what you're doing are going to call you out. And that's what we're kind of doing here today. So if you think anybody that you follow do stuff like that, tell them like, hey man, I think you might want to start playing games because the community ain't playing like that no more. So
stop talking the way you talking.
Yeah, just stop doing it. That's it. Because right now I've never seen, the one thing I would have not ever seen in this community is everybody kind of be on the same page when it comes to this, because that's the one thing that everybody truly loves about video games, is just talking about video games. And if you are faking that, that's something that people aren't going to tolerate.
Yeah, and you're eventually going to get exposed for it. So you might as well just be real about what your gaming experiences are. And, if there are people who are like, oh, you're a casual, I don't care about what you got to say, then so be it. Then, like, don't care about what their opinion is either. But, like, just represent how you really are as a gamer. If you're a casual gamer, you're a casual gamer.
Right.
Just like, not everyone's going to be a hardcore gamer, and I would say probably nor should everyone be, because that's just not how everyone wants to consume gaming content. But
as long as you're having fun, that's what matters.
Yeah, as long as you're having fun and you're being true to yourself, that's all I really care about. But we can go ahead and...
Emmanuel, you are so far back in the show. He says Forte needs God of War to be delayed so that Xbox doesn't look like trash. Yes, I'm behind in the show.
Man, I'm about an hour behind. That's what's up. Shout out to Emmanuel.
Welcome to the future when you finally get here, sir. You have a good weekend. We're ending this show now.
And that is very true because I need to. I've been under the weather. I don't know if you guys can tell. I've been trying to like whenever I clear my throat, mute my mic and stuff like that. But it's been a rough couple of days for me. But let's go ahead and get this done. I can take my NyQuil. I can take my butt to bed. Ramon, once again, thank you for joining us once again. You're a great gamer and an awesome actor and author as well. I can't wait to see you on Gotham Knights on the CW. I'm speaking it into existence. I'm speaking into existence, okay? So it's going to happen. But no, let everyone know where they can find you and what you got going on.
Well, first off, thank you guys for having me again. I love this show. I love you guys, and I mean, you're awesome. So I'm honored to be able to be on the show again with you. You can find me pretty much anywhere by my name, Ramon Terrell. On Twitter, it's like Ramon_Terrell. I think it might be 2 underscores. I can't remember because like I had trouble actually getting my name on Twitter. But yeah, so Twitter. I mean, you know, I'm less on Facebook these days because it's a little dismal over there for me. But I am there, and also on Instagram. It's all the same. And yeah, that's about it. Had a lot of fun, and sorry I got all ranty on homegirl who's a gamer.
Oh, you're fine.
Had a blast. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no problem at all, man. Forte.
Yo, great show, Slow-Mo.
Thank you.
Really, really good show, Ramon. Always amazing to have you here with us. Every time it's like, yay, Ramon! Yeah, man, it's like I had to give you the standing ovation when I saw you come up in the chat. But yeah, for myself, Gaming Forte everywhere: YouTube, Twitter, Xbox Live, PlayStation. DPS 85 will be next week on my channel. Shout out to that. And guys, enjoy the games you're playing. Enjoy your week. And once again, good job again. Well, always good job, Slow-Mo. And no spell checks. I was hoping to use it, but guess what? It will be used next week.
You know, it doesn't have to get used next week. It's just checking what you're typing before you just throw it up on OBS. You know, it's just checking it.
Fun though.
You know what's fun? Correct English and correct grammar and syntax. That's what's fun.
I like how he threw syntax in there.
I mean, I know Ramon knows what I'm talking about here.
I know you know. Yeah, I know what it means. Let's go.
Oh gosh.
In the show, Slow-Mo.
Yeah, look, lunchtime with Slow-Mo tomorrow, probably 11ish. We'll see what happens. I haven't got the DM with the games that I'm supposed to be playing from the min-max build tier. So we'll see what happens, whether I'm playing something I actually want to play or whether I'm being forced to play some garbage. We'll find out.
What is the
no, we're not talking about
on that.
Huh? The stipulations
is it like is it 4 hours? Is it 4 hours of gameplay guaranteed?
No. What the?
How many hours?
You
gotta have a time limit.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
You can't just
we're
put
done.
the game in for 15 minutes and just quit.
I would never do that. It's a minimum 2 hours. The minimum is 2 hours.
3 hours.
2 hours. You don't get the what? You don't get to choose. All right, we're done. Shout out to y'all again. DPS podcast. We will have this up on your typical podcast apps on audio probably tomorrow at the very latest Saturday. So look out for that if you want to check out the replay. And again, DPS podcast next Thursday, which is the 2nd of June. Wait, no, I'm sorry. What the heck? I'm sorry. That's 2 weeks from now. The 26th of May. Good grief. I'm sorry. The 26th of May, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Eastern Times, 8 p.m. Standard. Oh, I gotta get out of here. I'm just saying everything wrong. All right. Good night, y'all. Take care. Peace.
Peace.
Later.
Gator.